Intrigued by it.
Neo.
Oh, yeah. You don't like traffic.
He
All
hates
right,
it.
JARfm. First outdoor broadcast, if I'm not wrong.
We are outside.
How good is this?
The rustling of the leaves in the trees, the wind blowing across your cheek, the feeling of JARfm.
Sort of taking a Richard Mercer sort of angle to JARfm.
101.1 Mix and Love FM.
Love songs and dedications.
Well, so this is how homeless people feel.
What, being outside?
Having candles on the table, beers at the ready.
Maybe not.
Lucky
Maybe not exactly
homeless
how they
people.
feel, but hey, we're outside.
I did see Supreme Leader had a quote the other day that something about people choosing to be homeless. He's
work hard enough.
Yeah, that's right.
They
What
made
the
a
fuck?
conscious choice to not work hard enough.
And they filled in a form down at Centrelink.
Yeah, they ticked the box unemployed.
Anyway,
Wowzers.
yeah. Jumping from boat to boat.
Yeah, to all our homeless fans out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks
all,
for tuning in.
all listening via...
A stolen radio, perhaps.
yeah.
They've all got iPhones.
Yeah.
They've all got iPhones. Everyone's got an
Everyone's got
iPhone.
12-year-old girls have got iPhones.
12-year-old girls and homeless people.
Yeah.
That's our
I'm
audience
sure
at the moment.
That's Apple's demographic.
I'm
right?
sure there's a underground trafficking of used iPhones and stolen iPhones
It's true.
that gets to the hobos out there.
Cash converters, mate. That's right.
They traffic goods.
They do traffic
They do.
suspiciously obtained goods, I would have thought.
Something weird's happened for me with iPhones. I reckon I'm now seeing more broken screen iPhones than non-broken screen iPhones.
Yeah, I used to call that the broken screen app,
Yeah.
and then people got cut. But, yeah, look, I mean, they're so disposable now.
But that's the thing with a lot of consumable items like your cars back in the 50s were made out of steel and were pretty much unbreakable, and the manufacturers realised, fuck, we better make these just a little bit shitter so people need to buy new ones every now and then.
That's right.
The first
So
car
what about
that Henry
iPhones?
Ford made, the panels were made out of hemp. Seriously. There's a video of him, I think, bashing the bonnet of the car, going, check it out, you can't fuck this car.
Do you know what always gets me with cars is tyres, and like you have to buy new tyres all the fucking time. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure Ribble 2.0 will get me on this because he knows more about this sort of stuff than me. But I thought there was some technology where you could have like the full compound solid rubber tyre that basically just wears.
Slick.
Yeah, you can, but they're shit for suspension and they just wreck the shit out of your car. Like, if you're racing or something like that, or if it's, like, specifically for something, but it doesn't too much... All the energy generally translates into the air inside and the give that the tyre has.
It's
so
true.
when you don't have that, when you have low-profile tyres, the suspension takes it all.
But sorry.
What do airplanes do with their tyres? Because they're I would have thought
They tuck them in just under the wings.
Yeah. Like a T-Rex.
Yeah, but I would have thought that the force on the tyre landing on a tarmac from a jumbo jet would mean that they'd have to, if they're using like sort of tyres like that are in my head, like that you put on a car, they'd have to change every single flight.
But the most braking they get is from wind resistance. They don't lock the tyres. So the tyres are just so they can land.
But he's talking about the actual force
Tread.
of when you hit the ground.
But they don't
it'd
turn;
blow
they
the-
just go straight.
Yeah. But it'd blow the air out of the tyres pretty much because there's so much.
They
air.
probably would-
They've
they
got
probably
a
would
very,
be
very
solid.
tough compound tyre that if you had in a car would mean that your car felt like what the plane feels like when it's landing.
That'd be awesome.
Like, fucking
That's the best part of being on a plane. That is the best part of landing. Is landing.
Were you talking about racing
Best
before,
part of
Diz?
landing is landing. Yeah, it's like
You're
my
talking about
favourite part of
racing
coffee.
before, Diz.
Yep.
When was the last time you saw someone driving in Melbourne who wasn't looking like they're in a race?
Fucking today. Dude, what gets me is you'll be in a 60 zone, someone's doing 50, and then you notice that they see you in the rear vision mirror and go, well, I should look in the rear vision mirror more often. They get up to 60, they back off to 50. Suddenly, you hit a 70 zone and they're doing 90. that's something I see really, really often. People are like, I'm just going to drive however the fuck fast I want.
Yep.
And I'm a really bad... I'm very animated when it comes to road rage. Very loud. Very accusatory.
I like to take off between 0 and the speed limit as fast as possible and then sit on the speed limit.
Yep.
Yeah, I do this. I like to do that as well, but I see it as being slightly culpable.
It is.
Yeah. That's cool, as long as we're...
But it's my only way of dealing with the fact that I have to sit at the same speed when I could be going faster or slower or do my own thing, is to make sure that I get to the speed limit at absolute quickest possible pace.
Yeah, and you actually put a bit of distance between you and the guy second in line at the lights too, because most people don't take off like that. Most people are like, oh, I'll just gradually get up to 60. By the time you've already gotten up to 60, you've saved yourself 2 to 3 seconds.
I used to have a mate who would talk about the right turn arrow and saying that it is your role as a citizen to take off as fast as possible as soon as if you're at the front of the line on the green arrow, because that means that you can try and get as many cars through as possible.
I'm down with that.
So to me, to be a proper person, citizen, to do the right thing by others, you should take off real super quick.
Fucking
yeah, but what are you meant to do? Like, because at the lights, you're checking your iPhone, you're putting a new song on, you're talking to someone in the back seat. Like,
maybe
come
having
on.
a Big Mac.
Going for a drive is a social experience. It's not about getting somewhere.
Have you ever checked Facebook while you're driving? You probably haven't, because you haven't driven for a while.
All the fucking time. Boom.
I saw some guy on Facebook.
I've got mine in a little fucking cradle. Technically, the law states.
Yeah, you can't hold
handheld
it, right?
devices. If it's on a cradle, you can do whatever the fuck you
saw
want.
some guy bake iPhone cookies, and he'd be driving along with a cookie that looked like an iPhone, and cops would pull him over, and he's like, "It's just a biscuit."
Yeah, when they came when they came up to the window, he basically just took
that's
a bite
funny
out of
as fuck. So he'd be going like this, driving along, and it's just a biscuit that looks like an iPhone, and the cops pull him over and starts eating it.
Honestly, if you're really broke and it is an iPhone, take a fucking bite out of it as well.
One of
Just
the
like a duck, just all
one of
the whole thing, because you'll poo it out and then you just stick it in a bowl of rice and it's fun.
smart.
It's an interesting point though. Like, what's the difference between changing a CD, eating, checking your Facebook, talking on a phone? They're all
things that
distracting.
you shouldn't be doing when you're in charge of a motor
But
vehicle.
only some of them are illegal.
Doing your makeup.
Only some of them are illegal.
They do.
They do.
Yeah, I've seen
They
it.
do. It's fucking
Heaps of
annoying.
women do it.
But I mean, I don't want to not getting stuck in the women like men do.
They do their
stupid
makeup
stuff
as well.
I
Hey, we're not discriminated, JARfm. That's right.
I ate my Big Mac while talking on the phone while driving, and preferably while changing gears,
Yeah.
just to bring me down to everybody else's
Yeah,
level in
well-
terms of driving ability.
I have actually
But
eaten it.
everyone thinks they're a better driver than everyone else.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem. isn't it?
That's the reason road rage exists.
Yeah. Everyone's in
sad.
the right.
Yeah, because there's no negotiation or anything either. There's no. It's so separated. So
One thing I like
you're
about
doing
being
what
on
you think is
trams
right.
is that you can look into the cars. I reckon 95% of people are on their phone,
Yeah,
and one person driving in a car in
no
Melbourne.
doubt. Yeah,
95%.
I reckon that's a right percentage too.
Yeah, that gives me the absolute screaming fucking irrits when you're sitting at the lights, or even just you're probably still at the lights, but a long way away because there's traffic. And the person in front of you is like, you can see the head down. You know the head down?
Yep.
It is
Head
like
down post.
the universal fucking signal for I'm on my phone. It is so obvious. It's so strange. But and then everyone else starts driving, but they're looking down at their phone. And like, I'm a very calm driver. Nothing really upsets me. But that fucking grinds my gears, man.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I mean, I think people, it's a weird thing driving and being in charge of a vehicle that has this power. And one weird thing is then getting told that you can't go as fast. Like, I remember driving like my first car, it had like 240 on the fucking thing, and you're like, hold on. Like, how much is that as a human? Like, our whole thing as existence is to push the boundaries, but then you sit in your car and you can't even go like quarter of the way of what it says it can do, even though it wouldn't have been able to go that fast.
They can't,
I
you can't
got
go that
bullshit on
fast.
that. Bullshit.
You can go that fast maybe once or twice.
No, you can go that. You can go that fast.
Yeah, this was a 1981 Ford Laser. I don't know.
I
still 20 k's an hour.
I still say we would have gotten it to go that fast if you wanted to.
You can do land speed records, but I think it's a weird mental thing, and it adds to the fact that people. I love seeing people driving Lamborghinis and shit in traffic, and they're going bumper to bumper, and it's like, yeah, fuck off. That's so funny.
What's the point?
Should have bought a house.
What's the point? My God. Like driving around in the city traffic with a Lamborghini. That's too wide. It's as wide as the lane.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
right.
can't fucking have a bike riding by. You can't have a guy pulling out of a thing, nudging out to see if there's anyone coming. Because this thing's as fat as they come. And then it's like, it's 2,000 fucking horsepower. Big V12 engine, and it's like just in peak hour traffic.
I feel embarrassed for those guys sometimes in that
Because they got small penises.
Hey?
Because they got small penises.
No, I love penises. Doesn't matter what size they are. They're driving the car, but they're not rich enough to have someone drive the car for them.
Oh.
So essentially, if you're behind the wheel of an expensive car, you're not as rich as you really should be.
Yeah, but can I have a show of hands? Who would want someone to drive them around, though?
People who drink a lot.
Me, I would
Yeah,
definitely
I'd love to have a driver, but I wouldn't love to have a driver every day. I reckon and plus, if I had that much money, I could probably just hire like a limo when I wanted to go out and get on the sauce.
Well, most of these guys are leasing the cars.
Oh yeah, it's a smart way to do it.
All
Yeah,
sorts of shit.
But what if it was your hobby?
drive.
Just like driving really expensive cars that you really
I
like.
love
and don't
then you've
live
got
in
your
Melbourne.
driver to drive you around when you want to go get boozed, and maybe you're driving for fun.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't be driving in peak hour traffic. Maybe I agree.
In Penang a few years ago, I saw there was a meeting for a car club. I think it was a Bugatti or Lamborghini or something. It was an Italian car club. These people had their cars shipped in from all around the world, and they would have police escorts. So they'd all drive 15 cars as fast as they fucking could. They've got a cop car at the front and a cop car at the back. And it's all paid for, and they ship their cars around the world doing this. Just driving on cool roads where they can drive as fast as they want, do whatever they want.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, you'd have to, if you're going to be doing the expensive car thing, you've got to be driving it, and enjoying driving it fast.
Yeah, they're made for that, right?
Yeah.
Cornering
fast.
Just like if you're driving a Tarago and you're the only one in the front, it's made to be carrying 8 people. Fucking get that thing full of people.
Or drive it as fast as you can.
Don't drive along the freeway in that thing to work. One person. It's bizarre. I hate that shit. And I've got a few stats about Melbourne traffic. Would anyone like to?
I'd like to hear.
I'm curious.
Okay, so we're just talking about the peak hour traffic. I'd like to give a little quiz. So, this is from 2011. So some of these are a bit dated, but they don't update many of the.
Is it from Census or something like that?
It's from Vic Roads.
Vic Roads.
Average peak hour speeds in Melbourne.
Okay.
So what do you reckon it was? So this is from the last
7 kilometres an hour.
Melbourne?
Hang on, is it CBD or Greater Melbourne?
Thinking about commute from sort of the inner
average speed. So if you're talking like you live in
Greater
Mount
Melbourne.
Waverley and you drive
inner east. I'm sort of maybe out to Camberwell, maybe north to Moonee Ponds.
I'll say 20k an hour.
Yeah, I'll go with 24 k's an hour.
And we're talking peak hour?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a few freeways in there as well, so think about that.
45 to 55 is my...
Yeah, I'd say probably about 60.
37 kilometres an hour.
Oh, there you go.
And then I looked what was the average travel time that people who are driving, and it was
It's like an hour and a half
30
or something.
minutes.
Really?
So according to my maths, that's like people are averaging about 15 kilometres travel in a car.
Yep.
And 85% of people drive in their commute.
To work.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 15 Ks is the average. So there's people who live less than 10 Ks away who are sitting in peak hour traffic. They shouldn't be.
We should figure out how to use the forests in Tasmania to power our cars.
Well,
We just cut all the trees down, right?
Yeah, make a wood-powered car.
Yeah.
a wood-powered car.
Cut those trees.
Just burn it.
Yeah.
Like a little...
Jobs.
Well, it's actually quite simple to do. You just need a little hearth that you can burn the wood in, and then a little pot with some water over it for steam generation, and then you have a steam-powered engine. And then you put it on tracks, and then you build it up and you put some little carts behind it and it becomes a train. And then you get rid of the steam and you plug it into electricity and you get some fossil fuels and boom, we're back where we started.
That's something else Supreme Leader said. Didn't Supreme Leader say that at a forestry's industry night the other day, that too much of Australia is locked up in protected forests?
Oh yeah,
he said that at a forest industry night.
He also said he said that he wanted to support the ultimate conservationists, loggers.
Yeah, loggers.
And I was like,
So
okay.
I spent 5 minutes listening to the Supreme Leader the other night delivering a speech.
Mate, what a boss.
I listened to that too.
He was I'm not sure if you watched and listened to the one that it wasn't from today. He was at a 100-year anniversary of Coles as a company, and he delivered a speech congratulating Coles on 100 tremendous years and how they've done so much for our community, and how not only are they great business people and how tremendous the business is, but what they've done to employ, general Australians. And then he went down on this rant about how you don't have to be a teacher or a doctor or a firefighter to be meaningful in the community. And he said retailers can also be meaningful, and it was just so derogatory.
Oh, it was so.
And so do you know what I did after that?
Got into retail?
Went to Coles and took free shit out of the self-serve checkout.
No, I shaved my balls.
I saw the evidence. The evidence was left in the shower. Oh, just before we do that, we had a tweet from Finbar Fisher during the week. I now know more about my mate's private parts than I'd like to, and I have no control over the fact. Thanks, JARfm. Hashtag JARfm. So get involved on the hashtag. You might hear more about our balls.
So that, if for people who didn't listen in to last week's episode, we were
was about
basically
hair.
talking about hair.
Yeah.
And Stu
Took up the JARfm challenge.
yeah, well, he was the only one of the panel who had never shaved anything other than his beard.
Yeah.
So he basically, and everybody else had manscaped. So he said, "All right, I've got to get in on this action."
Yeah.
So we're going to hear a little bit more about that maybe after we have a song.
maybe.
Ribble 2.0. Is that what we're doing?
Before we hear about Stu's balls, we're going to listen to a track from Itsu from the Hopscotch label based in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
Great bass music station label. Get onto it.
It's a real ball terror.
Don't cut yourself on the way out.
Ooh, yeah. Smooth.
tasty.
Yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah, nice.
Where'd that come from?
My delicious.
Can you tell me more about that,
chips
Diz?
are finished. Yes, I like my thins chips.
I
Thank you,
think,
Thins.
and I could be wrong, but I believe it to be a young gentleman from Canada who calls himself Itsu. I think he's
Is he
early 20s.
is he an Eskimo?
An Inuit.
No, I think he's just white.
That's so racist.
Quite
Can't
a few.
believe you just said that.
There's quite a few white people in Canada. I know a few of them.
I could be completely wrong. He might be from the Lakes area.
Is he from Banff?
Is he doing a van tour?
I'm not sure. He can answer these questions on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll get him involved.
To him.
Can we hashtag him?
But I just want to plug
Yes.
Hopscotch Records. They're fucking brilliant.
Yeah, you've been working with them, yeah?
Yeah, for a couple of years.
Cool.
Before you got promoted to JARfm.
And,
That's right.
and it's not film. It's not the same Hopscotch Australian film company, you know.
It's a bass music sort of bass
Drum-
music glitch hop drum and bass.
Drum and bass, yeah.
Yeah, good electronic music, and it's got its a lot of it's geared to outdoor sort of stuff. So
Like us at the
like
moment.
what we're doing right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
They completely saturate your SoundCloud, which is good because there's always new material coming up. It's some quality stuff, including
Hopscotch,
some of your
yeah.
own stuff,
Yeah,
Dan.
cool.
Ribble 2.0.
Ribble 2.0. Yeah, but the first episode we heard, the one that he wrote and recorded in New York.
New York City.
So and we've featured your music a few times in the past, including Computer James.
Computer James, yeah, that goes too long.
Which
that
are
song, doesn't it?
yeah, well that was what prevented you from
Hey.
getting a 5 jar rating for that song.
No, it honestly
Stu
does.
got
Like,
stuck in,
it's pretty
and he was
great.
furious. He was just like, you know what? I'd rather not listen to it than listen to it if it goes for that long.
I didn't say that.
Well, I'm paraphrasing, but
It goes too long. I agree completely.
That song actually is mental at my work. Like the guys absolutely love it and they pump it up.
yeah, good.
Chipset.
So before we get to Stu's balls, jar rating for that. We're gonna.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy to kick off the jar rating. I'd give it a 4 jars.
For it
I think it might be a bit better than that. I liked it. It had a nice
It was relaxing.
world music type vibe to it, but it was quite contemporary in its drum and bass style. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
Had a little squeeze of dubstep in it.
for sure. But also, you know, it's when and where, and at this point, sitting around with candles and jars and
Does the trick.
suitable, yeah.
talk to me next weekend if I, you know, rail a couple of lines and go to Mink Bar till fucking 4 o'clock in
You
the
give
morning.
it a
Then I'll be
5?
like, oh, get a fucking 17
6?
jars out of fucking 65 Batmans. Yeah, so.
No, Stowers is on Batman again.
Yeah, I'll give that 7 jars of GBH.
The old Batman rating scale. Oh yeah.
Can someone explain to me, like, just what I just had a thought while we listen, like that sort of music? Melbourne cafes,
Yeah.
they always play the same style of music. It's like really bassy and really sparse. Why do they do that? And why is it trendy to have like bassy lounge style music playing while you're eating eggs Benedict?
It's not trendy. That's why they play it.
I don't think that's right.
I don't know. It's probably more a worker thing than a consumer thing.
Like you couldn't have played that song just then in a Melbourne cafe because it was too much going on. It'd have to be super laid back.
I reckon it's because of that Cafe Del
You know
Mar.
that stuff that do 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 do
Doom.
do do.
Like elevator music.
It's like
Cafe Del Mar, I reckon. And they sort of thought
Think-
that it was, we play this in cafes from now on forever.
In order for people to concentrate on what they're doing and not be distracted, you need to have a low bass that's not articulated by any high frequencies, and any high frequencies that exist have to be syncopated and repeated. They can't do anything unpredictable, and they can't start telling a story. And the reason I say this is because for some corporate stuff that a guy I know does, you, in particular times where people are supposed to be focusing on writing, you can't play any. You can play rap stuff, but there's no rapping in it. You can play beats because
There's
it's
people concentrating on
really
writing.
predictable.
Have to concentrate real hard, so that's why they go down the local cafe so they can concentrate the best with all people.
Well, you can have a
around.
conversation.
Well, you want to concentrate on what you're eating.
it's to promote the audio, like the frequency of the voice, so that you can hear yourself talking.
You leave a hole for where the voice would normally be,
Correct,
and
yeah, duck it all
then
out.
everyone else can have a conversation, and you can have music really loud.
So I was talking to Terry at Black Pearl when we were doing our recording. He was telling us about how when you listen to the ads on TV they sound louder when they go to the ad. That's because they boost the frequency that is the same as a baby's cry, because we are most receptive to that.
Yep.
So it sounds louder because our ears actually, the hairs prick up as much as they actually can. So they boost that part. So in basically all mastering of pop songs, they cut that out so it's not offensive. So you can listen to something that's repetitive over and over again without it getting.
What frequency is it?
Don't know. I can't remember what he said.
I reckon you'd be looking at 10 kilohertz.
Is that the same frequency that Hitler had when he talked? Remember? But did you learn in school that Hitler had a voice, a top pitch that made people listen?
Probably. It probably had something to do with that. But also the shows cut that out.
So advertising came from Hitler.
It goes straight into that zone. But you don't want the show, like music in the show, to be annoying or make you alert, because you want to be relaxed, right?
Yeah.
I'm working on an ad at the moment, and I've had to make it so that the shit is limited, like flat out. It never goes below 0. It stays right at the top. Don't do that. Fucking wait. Yeah, wait a month.
You can buy peanut butter from Woolworths.
People put peanut butter on their balls and get dog to lick them off.
You can buy peanut butter at the Woolworths and put it on your balls so the dog will lick it off.
I don't want to edit any of this, so just...
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my impersonation of Benny Hill when he actually talked.
Just getting stuck in.
Yeah, he did get stuck in. Because over the span of 20 seconds, we talked about balls, peanut butter, and Hitler, so fair enough.
I want to go back to the balls. Come on, Stu.
Back to the balls.
It's always a good place to go back.
So tell us, 1 week later, how do your balls feel?
I think it was Wednesday from the shower evidence.
So only a couple of it's only been a couple of days.
So basically we had a JARfm challenge, and I decided that it's about time we actually went through with the challenge. So this week I've planned out what I was going to do. I've taken on advice from the panel members, and I actually had some advice came in via Facebook from one of our listeners on what to do.
Best method?
Well, just more cautionary things to be aware of. So I took on your advice, Michael, and went just with your standard Mach 3.
Oh, yeah.
But the issue that I have is that it's like when you've got a long beard, if you don't clip it first, it's quite difficult.
Yes. It is.
So my method was just to go with the Mach 3 with an old toothbrush and just scraping out as many hairs out of that razor as possible, because it was, let's say, it was pretty messy down there.
Was this someone else's toothbrush or your toothbrush?
It was an old toothbrush of mine, and it's now in the bin.
Not Michael's toothbrush.
Good call, though. I could have.
It was heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was heavy like Vietnam down there.
So the toughest part of it was getting a visual on what you're trying to do down there.
And that's why I tried to explain that the shower is no place to do this. There's too much rushing water. It feels like you got to rush because you don't want to take a long shower.
Way too much.
The bath is the best because you can. It's just.
We don't have a bath.
Well, we do.
It's in the backyard.
It's in the
But
shed.
filled it with rainwater.
But no. And you had to do what you got to do. But I would have done a little bucket. Just so you don't... Yeah,
Just
definitely.
squat over a bucket.
Well, yeah, because even in the shower, but just you don't want to... The rushing water would have just been taking too much of the lather away.
It did, but I found a little pose I could get into. And
we'll get an artist's impression.
Is it like
later.
that Think statue, but also shade in the same time?
I thought that everyone just did the reverse Kanga on the toilet and did it that way.
Really?
That's valid.
Why not? You can't get it wrong.
I like the idea. I'm just
It's a
getting
reasonable,
very, very funny
you got the
visuals
waste
of memoir.
option taken care of immediately. I mean, that's something that's an option I hadn't thought of.
For me,
It doesn't have to be reversed.
talking about
normal
having
Kanga.
done it lots of times, maybe 100 times. I'm serious.
And a little insight into the statement.
It's all about the initial time when it's long. It's difficult, but it's all about the lather, and soap is always the best thing. And it's just, as soon as it's smooth, that's when the razor works the best.
Cake of soap and a razor, and that was it. Toothbrush to get rid of all the excess hair. But now the issue that I had is the upper section of hair was very thick, and I've got a lot of hair. Like my stomach, my legs, everything has hair.
Your brain.
And where does it stop?
that is the
Where's it start?
On his ball sack now.
And I had to make a judgment call of where to go to and where to stop because you could go forever. Like as you start doing it, like I'll just go down a bit further. I'll go a bit further.
You have already expressed to me that you did go a little bit too far because you once the inside of the legs.
No, but I had to go.
Did he get to the belly button?
I had to. No. Now this is the issue. Is that so? I cleaned up the top section, but so when I normally do my beard, I'll give it a shave and then I'll come back and I'll readdress it the next day. And the readdressing is when you actually get it down to the smoothness that's required. But it's not 100% smooth, the top section, because I just had to get it done quickly. I was running out of time. I knew that I had to get this done for this week's episode because it was a challenge.
How long did you shave your balls for?
Oh, well, when there's long, and he's never done it.
Yeah.
And he's running out of time. You've got to do it
Have you ever
quickly.
tried to shave a head? Have you ever tried to shave a head?
Anyway,
Like just with them.
I'm sick of talking about my balls, so let me just finish. It's a bit prickly on the top section, which means that if you're in certain seating positions, it can sort of prickle up a bit.
Big time.
Which is no good.
Big time.
But I've got to say that the feeling on the shaft and the balls is magic.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's the best.
It's the surrounding sections that cause the issues. The margins between the legs, a bit around the gut area. Because look, I don't have a flat stomach, so
And
it's,
also like you're talking about where does hair start and end. Like where does you realise that the balls aren't like in your brain? The balls are just like they're just there and they're like their own separate thing, but then they link into other things and they're also part of the thighs. And then you're exactly right, and you start shaving it, and then you sort of this is so fresh, and then you get stubble. And you're like, holy shit! And you go for that walk down to the station. And you're like,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of scratching.
like a Ren and Stimpy, when they zoom in on the rubbing of the hair, and every single little hair goes pling pling. It's like that.
So in summary, are we happy with the outcome?
Look, as I said, the shaft and balls region is good.
Is it as I mentioned last week? Does it seem more grand?
Yeah, look, I can understand where you come from in that area, but look, the thing is, I wouldn't do it again. It's just too much hassle just on the hair.
It's a bit of
I'm a hairy man, and look, I think I'm just going to leave it.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Did you notice, I've noticed in having done it before, like, whoa, my dick actually has hair on it.
Yeah.
It's not just around,
No,
like...
it's on it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of hair on the dick.
Yeah.
No one else has that?
The other thing is
Talking about logging, $200 billion worldwide each year is the logging.
That's how much we spend.
Wildlife trade, biggest in the world.
Wildlife trade.
The logging wildlife trade.
Can you
Correct.
expand?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Go
what's
on.
that?
Well, that's wildlife, trees.
Yeah.
Wait. Who's measuring the money?
Anyway, I just tried to segue away from penis and balls.
Yeah, no, I agree. I see the
I
link
agree.
between. I agree. I'd see the link between pubes and trees because they both grow. But I don't think trees are wildlife. I think
They
they're just
definitely
trees. No, they're just trees.
They're just trees.
They're plants.
Flora. Yeah.
Flora,
Anyway,
not
I'll just
fauna.
According to UNICEF,
So hang on. Yeah,
Yeah,
but 200
UNICEF.
billion. What? 200 billion what?
$200 billion worth of trade a year is
Just
quite a large-
Australia.
is timber.
Just out
worldwide.
of the world.
So the second is 100 billion, and what do you reckon that is?
Coca-Cola.
What? Hang on. Are we
Wildlife.
talking traffic?
Trafficking. So they talk about trafficking not in a legal sense, right? So
Movements.
in the movement of
So
around
are
the
you
world.
like saying that officially in like the
See-
records of whatever the fuck?
So when they cut
UNICEF,
down shit in
do they
Tasmania,
call-
it
no,
doesn't
but do
just
they-
make it into
So you're
like
talking
a
pulping-
chair out on Swan
Hang on,
Street.
but do they call trees wildlife?
Yeah, definitely timber for sure.
No shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. What
I'd say
do you think it is?
It is how it's-
Chickens, are they wildlife? Is that the second
Yeah,
thing, the
yeah, yeah.
second most thing that's on the road?
Nah, it's fish.
No shit.
100 billion.
Oh, it's
not-
terrible. We're
Yeah.
So to-
not surprised.
So to put that in perspective, we have tea, coffee, and spices have a combined $25 billion. So timber,
They're really
is
light though.
Eight times.
that.
money.
Yeah.
Money sense though.
Yeah, because money and weight don't have anything to do with each other.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I got that from somewhere.
When you cut down a 1,000-year-old tree, I don't care how many you plant, that shit ain't growing back.
What are you talking about? Trees grow back all the time, mate. Just cut them down. Just plant some new ones. You'll be fine.
We've got too much forest in Australia.
Cut it all down.
I had a discussion with some hipster chick about this the other day who's in forestry or something.
I'm sure she had a really valid
well, it's all about the mosaic, right? So as long as you cut down, if you're going to cut down 1,000-year-old growth, as long as you don't touch that again for the amount of time it takes to get back, then that's fine.
1,000 years.
No, it's all right. Just replant and just cut that down in about 5 years.
It's like patchwork. You create different mosaics of different regrowth so that all species can exist in that area.
But that's a monoculture, like limited by a certain amount of hectares, which is kind of... I'm not sure that's the way it's supposed to be. I ain't no expert, but you got like wheat, then you got pine, then you've got ghost gums, and then you got blackwood. That's not really...
If it was so good to have rejuvenation, replantation, then they wouldn't be cutting old growth. If you could just use what they're replanting, then they'd use that. But they clearly don't. They use these big old fuck-off trees.
Yeah, because they can't.
And they don't. They're not going to grow back for another 1,000 years.
That's because they might make nice chairs like the one you're sitting on,
That's
Michael.
true.
Or this nice
I don't know
table.
how much that cost the economy.
Well, it cost me nothing because I dragged it home along Swan Street one night, drunk apparently, according to Robbo. Anyway.
Yeah, you did. I was there.
Really? I wasn't there. Not in my mind.
So we should probably have a song, hey?
Yeah.
I reckon we should hear from...
Tom Dockrate?
Tom Dockrate.
Former
He's a
musical guest of JARfm.
Played that Ned Kelly song.
That was fresh.
Yeah, Man in the Iron Suit. And he had an EP launch a couple of weeks ago.
He's been gigging it up like crazy lately around Melbourne.
So I was pretty boozed and I got up on stage and sang with him.
Are you checking Facebook, Roland?
No, I'm not.
I spend too many days indoors. Don't wanna be in come downtown no more. Through dirty glass and bloodshot eyes, I wonder what they think of me outside. Good woman waiting by the phone. She got no money and my dinner's getting cold. She sees my boss out on the street, admits I ain't shown up for a couple weeks. One day the circus came to town. Big top put up on that football ground. Good woman can't take the kids inside. She got no money for no damn carnival ride. But when the sun was low, the poor kids got in free to see the show. They'd never before seen such a thing as a lion and a master of a ring. Mid-May and the nights are growing cold. The tree don't got a lot of leaf left on the hold. Billy filled his car with too much junk. It got so bad he couldn't close his goddamn trunk. His mama moved out long ago, so no one keeps an eye on us no more. He had a job from which we fed, but the old gum tree smashed up both of his legs. Sunshine beats on the front door, but we won't let it warm us up no more. Plates stack high up in the sink, but we don't clean or give a damn what no one thinks. Good woman had a ruse to help us rid our come down blues. Said all we had to do that day was
Super Pimp.
Yeah, I like that song. I like what he's doing. It's a bit unique.
Yes, indeed. I quite like the finger picking.
And he's a Tasmanian born and bred.
He'd probably-
I like the part where he said hip hop's gonna get ya.
Well, logging's probably going to get Tasmania, but
Yeah, that's right.
Before hip hop hits it.
Oh, Vonn Trapp, I want to hear. Did someone want to rate that in a jar?
I'll rate it.
Yeah, roll.
I quite liked the lyrical nature of just the music. It was quite easy to roll along. Clearly, they'd taken the baby pitch out, so it was easy to talk in between. So very well mastered. But ultimately, I grew up listening to like bluegrass because my dad played bluegrass, and whenever I hear that sort of sort of sound, it speaks to me. So I'm going to give it 4.5 jars of White Lightning.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Blow your head off kind of stuff.
It was recorded in Nashville too.
Yeah, he was saying last time he was. He'd just come back, hadn't he?
Correct. Flew straight to JARfm.
That's my mum's favourite song that she's heard on JARfm.
Oh, there you go.
She was also saying how many mentions she gets on JARfm, so I thought I'd mention her again.
Yeah,
Your mum gets lots of mentions.
Yeah, Leonie.
Did you know Leonie, his mum gets lots of mentions?
Yeah, I've heard Leonie gets a few mentions on Jar.
I was going to mention that earlier, but you've done it
Anyway,
now.
we've done it now. Roland, I've got your dad's Bluegrass #1 CD that I was supposed to give back and I haven't done, so I should give that to you. Now
I'll return it. I'm feeding the cats tomorrow, so I'll drop it off with a little note from Stu saying, "Love your music, Rob."
Okay, sounds great. Now, I've got an issue with you, Roland.
Go on.
So this is the great thing about JARfm is we can sort of catch up at the same time as we're delivering the product. Roland, you do some sort of improvisational sort of acting sort of... what do you call it?
Yeah, impro. As in improvisation.
And there's all these photos that keep coming up on Facebook of you in funny impro poses. And
Yeah.
they're quite humorous, and you're very good at what you do. But I've now got this issue. I've got an issue where...
Fuck, he's got an issue.
Anytime I see that pose of anyone on the streets, and there's these massive billboards up around Melbourne at the moment of like comedy festival. It's probably not comedy festival, but or maybe it is comedy festival and all these things of people doing funny impro poses. I see you, even if it's not you.
Well, I think a lesson to be learned here is that it needs to be me. So get me up there, people listening. Get me onto post.
Imagine
onto
seeing
billboards.
a billboard of Roland.
It would be.
That'd be the best.
Is there any reason
fit you
that
in.
the Americans call it improv and Australians call it impro?
No. Well, yes. No,
B is
because
silent.
in fact, some people in Australia call it improv. Improv is American and impro is Canadian.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm
There you
pretty
go.
sure.
But it's the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yep.
It's improvisation. So
The other
the
thing
Americans
is,
call it improv.
Australians like to abbreviate things as far as they possibly can as well. So
Americans
dropping a
came across
letter,
with improv, and they're like, "Yeah, impro."
that's right. Dropping a letter or two, we're not adverse to that at
Yeah,
all.
imp probably wouldn't work.
There is a group called the Imps.
Really?
Yeah,
So you do impromptunes as well, where you
Yeah.
sing.
we make
Is
up
that
an
coming up
hour-long
next
musical.
soon? Give it a little plug.
Yeah, we've got 22 shows coming up in the Comedy Festival this year, Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
wow,
And this is
We are
instead
playing
of-
at Trades Hall, and what we do is an hour-long musical. So we get a title from the audience to prove that we haven't planned it before, and we make up a musical based on that title.
So can we talk about shaving the nether regions? Could we make a musical about that, maybe?
If you came along and you yelled out a
I
title and we asked for it, we'd have to do
I
it.
can be plant the audience for sure. No worries about that. But
Well, we start when the comedy festival starts and we finish when it finishes. So come along to one of our shows and yell about Stu's balls.
Actually, was Roland that I saw on a billboard then.
Could have been.
it's entirely possible.
Could have been.
I'm everywhere.
He's reasonably famous, and just what you were talking about earlier reminds me of a movie I watched. It was a while ago now. It was really good, and it was called "I Love You, Man." And it's got,
I've seen that.
Paul Rudd from Anchorman fame and stuff, and he's a real estate agent.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah,
I don't agree with you.
what
I was made to watch... Oh, the billboard. No.
I'm
In
specifically-
saying that the movie was good.
I found it so awkward that it was funny.
It was awkward.
It was really awkward, and that's why
Did
I
you say
thought it was so
awkward or awful?
awkward.
Were you watching it with Paul Rudd? Is that why it was so awkward?
I just
Ribble 1.0.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ribble 1.0, yeah.
I watched that movie after having done some heavy work down south in the Dandenong.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about shaving your balls.
And I was taking
Deforestation.
We can't do
That's
them at
where
the same
my
time.
brain was going as well.
But the thing I was struck with straight away when watching that was like, oh, this is rich white people.
Yeah.
And I'm not really super compelled by anything they have to do or say. Like, if they sell it well, definitely. But if it's called, what is it, Dude, I Love You, Man?
I Love You, Man, yeah.
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 That was also a little off-putting.
It was a bit weird, yeah. But it was a weird movie that I kind of went, I haven't seen a movie like this before, and I'm intrigued by it. And it was
That's
just
okay.
odd because he was really socially awkward, like the guy he looks like that we know, Ribble.
1.0.
They are 1.0.
1.0.
Yeah,
1.0.
1.0. And they're essentially
He does
one and the
look like
same.
him.
Those like that character from that movie and Ribble, they're basically the same. But he basically, the plot, if you haven't seen it, is this guy is 35 or 38 or whatever, and he's about to get married. And he doesn't have any male friends at all, and he finds one, and the guy's completely the opposite. He's confident and lives in a man cave and all this sort of shit. And the main character, Paul Rudd's like a real estate agent, but he's kind of shit at his job. So his mate asks to borrow, I think it's like $8,000 or something from him. And the dude's like such a pushover that he gives it to him. And then, I don't know, they have a bit of a falling out or whatever. But his new best friend basically takes the $8,000 and invests it in billboards along the Los Angeles highway. And it's basically Paul Rudd like standing there looking like 007 in a tuxedo, and then there's another one where he's just in a Speedo, and like all these other ones just with hilarious captions on them.
It's traditionally done. You can do that. Like, people have done that in Hollywood where they're just like, I've moved to Hollywood. Yeah, shit didn't work, but I can still buy a fucking billboard.
How much does it cost?
Yeah,
I'm not
Can we
sure
get
what
a
the
billboard
price
in
is.
Melbourne?
just
Couple
one for
grand.
JARfm.
It depends on who you're going with and the duration of its exposure, but yeah, you can.
Just Roland.
So if anyone wants to
Pointing at the cat.
if anyone wants to contribute funds to
JARfm.
our billboard project, we'll happily accept.
Hashtag JARfm.
Well, let's set up a Kickstarter for the JARfm billboard.
And we can
We
do
could probably
like
get that happen.
Still illegally. Fuck everyone.
Put it up.
Just put it up.
Banksy style.
Just put it over fucking, what's that morning radio shit where it looks like,
Yeah.
hey, we're all having a period together. What was that one? Chrissy and fucking
Chrissy and Buckhead.
something.
Chrissy and Joe.
Yeah.
Oh God!
What's that one?
She was
The
also
new-
the one who was telling it,
demographic.
talking about like driving. Has this quote that she said, do you remember the first day that you got your license and you went through the drive-through like for like 3 or 4 times the first day you got your license? And I was listening saying, no.
Oh, she's the big one, isn't she? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
That's why you're so fat.
Yeah. And that other chick, her claim to fame is that John Waters show that's not John Waters, the scat porn John Waters, the Australian
all
version.
together now.
Yeah. Wait, that's John English,
John
isn't it?
English. Yeah. I remember one time Blackburn were playing at Noble Park Football Club and they had their own theatre and John English was doing a 3.5-hour show. I'm like, oh my God, it was bad enough.
On
being
TV
10
for 22
minutes.
minutes a
Yeah,
day,
but he was only in half the show and it was bad enough.
Yeah,
But,
well, they've gone on to do bigger and better things. He was in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat a bunch of times, I think. He
Pirates
was,
of Penzance
Pirates
was
of
his
Penzance
thing,
too,
yeah.
And the dude from it, he's now a weatherman for Channel 9 or Channel 7 or something. So that's his career.
a weatherman.
Poor man's Jamie Sherry and that's saying something.
Weatherman.
Yeah, well, he played a teenager when he must have been at least 25.
Well, he must
TV
be playing a weatherman from the 1990s or something because there's no weatherman or men left.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not a...
No, ABC has one.
No, he's a weatherman. He's not a
and
meteorologist.
We've spoken about this. He tries to bamboozle you with science facts.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Gian just tells you exactly what's going to happen. It's gonna
Gian's
be
like, it's
okay
probably
tomorrow.
going to be hot.
Rebecca
It's gonna
Judd.
be nice
Rebecca
tomorrow.
Judd is the best. She has a 7-day
weather.
outlook.
That's just her diet.
I just love the fact
Yeah,
that
that's right.
none of them are
half
meteorologists.
a bag of chips and a fucking Red Bull.
Speaking of news reporting and weather, do you remember when they used to, I don't know if they still do this, they had the traffic alert chopper?
Oh, yeah.
They still do, yeah. The whole
And
radios
Emma,
have
not a
that.
Francesco. She's quite hot.
And true that.
So they
But
send
she's
up-
not a Francesco.
No,
And
that's.
I was actually
she's not
watching.
one.
I was watching Sean McAuliffe's show, Mad as whatever.
Mad as hell.
Mad as hell.
Which
The
is
other
like
night.
a Newstopia for ABC.
Yeah,
Quite
and look,
funny.
I got to say, Sean McAuliffe is one of my favourite comedians, but he's actually too quick for me. Like, he's too quick for me.
Yeah.
By the time I'm starting to process the humour, he's already moved on,
He's
and
already
it's
moved
like
on.
you prick.
Yeah.
But he did one that was really funny, which was just a little skit on how the ABC has no money, so they did a skit of them up in a chopper doing the traffic. The looking out for the traffic, and then you think about it, it's like, what a waste. Like, they're sending up someone in a chopper every day just to look out over Melbourne to say, yep, the Monash is and you got that in the
that's
background.
And the Monash is
Yeah.
busy. Oh,
The
wow.
Monash is busy.
Congratulations.
The Westgate Freeway outbound seems to be banked up a fair way back in towards the city.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like, well, yeah.
that's right.
These
But you know,
cunts
when
want
you
a
think about it,
helicopter.
when you think about it, no one's watching Channel 10 News in the traffic, so it's probably house mums watching to see whether their husband when they can put the dinner on, because it's the 5 till 6 news on Channel 10.
Dinner
So
indicator.
yeah, dinner indicator.
Turn
So
the dinner indicator on.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
about
that's
that
right.
time,
The Eastern Freeway's clear. Shit, better put the fucking chip fat on.
I can see Gian excelling.
Duck fat? Have you had duck?
No,
duck,
it's just
goose fat?
Crisco. It's just Crisco.
It's just
Crisco.
canola.
Crisco.
oil. Come on.
What?
Anyway, we do talking about Melbourne traffic. Just in case we never get back there, we do have a question from a listener.
Oh, very good.
My thing with traffic is if you need to merge or take right of way down a tight street, simply give a little wave or a finger to salute to say thank you
Yes.
to the commentating
Yes.
driver. If you don't, you really piss me off, and I give you the finger. A little thank you goes a long way in traffic, and it only takes 2 seconds to acknowledge someone else's kind action.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. This person who's written in is one of the biggest things of me. Like, I used to wave every time, all the time, and I've actually let my own guard down, and I'm only probably a 50% waver now. and it's because society's changed. People don't give a fuck about anyone else anymore, and it's all about them trying to get from A to B as quick as they can. Fucking, I'm sick of it.
But maybe they're quitters like you. Maybe they're people who used to and just decided I'm not going to anymore, and you automatically categorise them as someone who's
Yep.
moved on and doesn't give
there's
a
a fair
fuck.
chance that I've done that.
But that's where social change happens. When people don't let go of these ideals, you need to signal with just one finger. It's a lift. It's a look.
Well,
it's a
it's
smile. Somebody please lift the finger. Wave your goddamn hands. Everybody out there, become part of the movement.
Oh, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to
A
challenge.
little bit of taste of impromptu.
I'm going to challenge Vonn Trapp this week to a JARfm challenge.
Don't worry, I give the finger quite often in traffic.
Yeah, not that finger.
Not doing that.
No, I've got a challenge for you because Vonn Trapp, you're the biggest driver here on the JARfm panel.
true,
You drive
I am.
to work every day.
Whoa.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm not really in that class anymore. But I used to do.
Yeah, you don't drive to the
I used to
living
do
room.
1,500 k's a week.
1,500.
Just in the pool.
1,000, sorry. No,
15,000
1,500 k's a week.
Are you basically
When I
just
when I
driving
worked for
Australia all day?
the Vic State Government,
15,000.
I did 1,500 k's a week. Anyway,
That's a lot.
back to
So this guy, Derek Vonn Trapp, our stalwart of JARfm.
Friend.
Hashtag.
This guy,
Walking punchline.
this guy lived in a house, which was let's
It was
say
45 metres.
45 metres from a train station.
Yeah.
That train station happens
Was
to be
garbage.
where I grew up in Camberwell, and I've actually recently been staying at my mum's place a few nights and catching the train in. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I also live there.
It's brilliant. You get on the train in the morning, and 25 minutes later, you're in the CBD.
That's true. The only-
Our panel member here, Derek Vonn Trapp, drives. When he was living in that joint, he would drive into the CBD every day in ridiculous traffic. Just because he thinks he's somehow better than everybody else, and that he has to sit there and listen to his Toby Keith music and with his hood down on his car and think that he's a boss.
True. And you know, if you're going to do that, then you can't complain about traffic.
But you always complain about traffic, Vonn Trapp.
Yeah, because if it wasn't traffic that I was complaining about, it'd be public transport that I'd be complaining about.
Well-
Because public transport's worse than traffic.
It's not.
It's so much worse, especially at a station like
a bit of jar traffic going on at the top of the table.
Fucking oath. Well, you got to have a beer every now and then, you know.
Look, anyway.
But that Riversdale station was a complete joke. I could drive to work.
True.
No, I could drive to work in 45 minutes, or I could walk to the station and
In 45 metres.
in 45 meters, yeah, and I could possibly maybe get a train that was scheduled to run, or it wouldn't be there. And you'd wait 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes after the train was supposed to be there, and then you get an announcement.
It's such a lot of crap. Anyway,
The 7:45 train is now not running. It's like...
and your option is you walk 5 minutes down to East Campbell where there's a bunch of trains running. Anyway, well, we're not going to get into the... but I want to challenge you.
Yep.
Seeing as you're an avid driver and you drive to work each day into the centre of Melbourne.
Yep.
Your challenge for the week and to report back next week is that you need to wave at people.
Mate, I wave.
No.
I'm an avid waver.
No, and you need to do
genuine thank you.
a genuine thank you, not some smart ass just
No.
tossing of the hand
I
up in the
actually go
air.
to
No
the effort-
token gestures.
I go to the effort of putting my window down. This is when I have the roof on.
Yep.
But I go to the effort of putting my window down to give someone a wave if they let me in.
How about this? I got a friend who
But
puts
I'm
his
happy
window
to do
down, puts his window down, gets his hand out, has it next to the frame of the window in a fist,
Yeah.
ready to wave.
Yeah, well, that's what you do, especially on a long...
That's commitment.
Once you're out of the city on a long trip,
Well,
You gotta wave.
everyone wave.
Well, no, that doesn't happen as much anymore these days either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
But
Yeah, but you got to initiate it, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
and
like karma.
once
it's a
you
butterfly
initiate it,
effect.
you can actually almost in that split second as the car's going 110 k's the other way and you're doing
You
100.
realise whether they're going to do it or not.
You actually sometimes can see their face go, oh shit, I should have waved.
Yeah, totally. And then they start waving over.
Exactly.
It's a gift that
So
keeps
I
on
hear what
giving.
you're saying.
Yeah.
So Vonn Trapp, your challenge for the week
Yeah.
is you need to politely wave to people when they are courteous to you,
Which is never, so all right, yep.
and you need to report back on
How many waves?
how many waves you've given
Yep.
and the courteous manoeuvres that you see in the traffic.
Yep.
And I also want you to give us a report on any particular road rage that may happen during the week.
Yeah, nice. Well, I can give you one such instance from just getting here earlier.
Yeah, so you drove from.
I got dropped off here because I was.
Did
at
you
a,
wave?
I was at a barbecue. So
So you do have a driver.
Did you do
at
a
times?
Yeah,
Did your
Ash.
passenger wave?
Passenger? No. Well, see, I was sitting in the passenger seat drinking beers because that's a way better way to get around. But I can't seem to find someone who's willing to do that at 7 in the morning. And drinking beers at 7 in the morning in the car on the way to work is apparently socially unacceptable. So I do
where
it.
your work
I
is.
do it anyway. But whatever. Just getting here, we were just pulling up to a red light, and red light's maybe 50 metres away. My current driver of the day probably had 1.5 car lengths in between herself and the next vehicle in front of us, and he was doing probably 10 k's an hour about to pull up, and a dude's
Challenge lane.
dude's just jumped right in.
Yep.
He's gone. There's
Common
just
issue.
over a car length,
It's a common issue.
and you're braking obviously. And I want to get all up in that space, and I'm not a big user of the horn personally.
Did you reach over as the passenger and?
No, he basically cut right in. She's gone on the horn, which to each driver to each their own, and I've just seen him look up in the mirror, and I've just given him the dirty stare in the mirror, just giving him the shake of the head.
What'd you get back?
I got very little. One sort of finger. I'm pretty sure it was an index finger.
Oh,
But if he'd wanted to go on with
The
it,
waggle.
I would have been more than happy. And yeah, so I'll report back. No worries.
Yep,
Speaking of
next week.
reporting back, we're going to cut to a song now. This is Phases of the Moon by School of Higher Loading.
Oh, yeah.
Phases of the moon.
Blue moon waxing, crescent, first quarter waxing gibbous.
Phases of the moon.
Full moon waning, gibbous, last quarter waning crescent.
Phases of the moon.
Blue moon waxing, crescent, first quarter waxing gibbous.
Phases of the moon.
Full moon waning, gibbous, last quarter waning crescent. When the moon is in the same direction of the sun, it's called the new moon, new moon. When you don't see no light coming from the moon, it is a dark moon called the new moon. A crescent moon is in the next stage when the moon is lit a quarter of the way. Less than half but more than zero. Ooh, this is called the crescent moon. quarter moon's a half moon. You see a half moon's a quarter moon's a half moon. They call a half moon a quarter moon because it made a quarter of its turn around the earth. You see half of the moon lit up, and I know what you're thinking, but it's a half moon called a quarter moon. Half moon's a quarter moon's a half moon.
Phases of the moon.
New moon waxing, crescent, first quarter waxing gibbous.
Phases of the moon.
Full moon winding gibbous, last quarter winding crescent.
Phases of the moon.
New moon waxing, crescent, first quarter waxing gibbous.
Phases of the moon.
Full moon winding gibbous, last quarter winding crescent. Now the gibbous moon is a little more full, but not all the way full. The lit up part is between a full moon and a half moon, called the gibbous moon. Now the full moon shines so bright, you see the full moon light up the night. Halfway through a circle, you'll see the full moon light up the night.
Phases of the moon.
New moon waxing, crescent, first quarter waxing gibbous.
Phases of the moon.
Full moon winding gibbous, last quarter winding crescent.
Phases of the moon.
New moon waxing, crescent, first quarter waxing gibbous.
Phases of the moon.
Full moon winding gibbous, last quarter winding crescent.
Phases of the moon. Phases of the moon. Phases of the moon. Phases of the moon.
Gibbous.
Yeah.
There's a little education on the phases of the moon for you, Stu.
Yeah, I like it.
No, well, yeah, I did actually a minor in astrophysics at university, so it was a nice refresher.
Good.
Yeah, fresh. We were looking at the moon earlier. There was a bit of discussion. I learned a little bit.
So but the difference between waning and waxing.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a waxing moon I was looking at a couple of
So
days ago.
that's
Talking
just
to
a song
teach
that teachers use. It's a really fresh tune, and it teaches you all about the phases of the moon.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, what about 2.0? Do you want to give it a jar rating?
Yeah,
I reckon it's
well,
probably got moonshine in whatever the jar rating is, but anyway, it's just for me.
Moonshine.
hip hop's a largely communicative genre of music, and if you wanted to rate that in terms of its ability to communicate, I'd be giving it a 7.
Ooh.
But we're going to break it down into some shit. The fact that it's
I just said
educational,
7. I just said
like particularly educational, would take it down to a 4, 4.5. 4.5 jars of melted crayons.
Ooh, yep.
And the fact that it was like golden, old school, golden age type shit will pull it up to a 5.5. So if any
That's
of you
very,
cunts
very
can do
good.
the
Well
maths, Stu, you're a mathematician.
5.5.
So you want to look
7
at
down
what's
to
the
a
average
4.5
of
up to
7,
5.
4, and a 5.5? What's the mean?
The average.
Average or mean? Apparently they're different things.
Yeah.
Add them all together.
The mean and the median. The median's the middle, which would be
Average.
3.5.
He wants average.
The mean jar rating.
Yeah.
Well, there is a difference between statistics and mathematics, and this is more statistical. But I don't know. We haven't actually logged our previous jar ratings. But
No, he said
He's talking about the the 3 ratings.
he gives it a
Yeah.
7.
yeah.
Then he
one
gave it
value
a
was
4 and a
7,
half.
one value
Then he gave it
was
a 4, and he
5.5.
gave it a 5.5.
So
He
a
wants the
7,
average.
a 7, a 4, and a 5. So it's
5.5.
11 and 16.5 out of 21.
divided by 3.
Yeah, it's 16.5 on 3. That's 5.5. No.
Okay, that's a good jar
Yeah, it's a
rating.
5.5.
That's a great
Yeah, good
jar
job.
rating.
5.5.
Tell you what,
Fucking shouldn't
speaking
even
of,
bother
speaking of
with that one.
education, if I'd had the option
Oh, yeah.
to be a mathematician, I probably would have paid a lot more attention in maths. If that was a real thing.
You didn't really pay
is.
much attention at school altogether, did you, Vonn Trapp?
Nah, wasn't really my thing. But fuck, if mathematician was an option,
It is.
I would have been all over it. Well, I know that now, but fuck, I'm a little old to go back and.
No, you're never too old, mate.
Well-
Never too old to learn.
It's time. It's time to go back to school.
You are with maths. Maths is one of those things.
What's one of those? Why is it one of those things?
Because if you don't learn the basics,
TVT's just saying he doesn't
See, I
want
think
to.
I think a lot of people with maths
That
get
too.
caught up. I think a lot of people get caught up in the fact that it's like really sort of routine, like
Bit dense.
and just like over the top formulas that don't really make any sense to anything, and then you get all these mathematics nuts saying, "Oh no, but it describes nature and describes life and all this sort of shit." But essentially, all it is, it's abstract symbolism to try and teach you how to do things in a different way that you haven't done before. That's what I get out of it.
Another language.
It's just another language. It's like music. It's like anything. And if you can deal in that abstract nature, then it gives you a different perspective on things.
Okay.
But I'm not one of these trench coat, duffel coat wearing, long haired jerks that plays shoot 'em up games.
For those
on
of you
Xbox.
who are not watching on the video, he's wearing a trench coat and a duffel coat, and he is a massive jerk.
Well, talking about some
Doesn't
stats.
play awesome games.
Give me some stats on.
Yeah, some stats. Okay, so I
Drop some
looked at where we are is the inner northwest
Can you show us on the globe?
of Melbourne.
Yeah, you could.
Maybe not.
Anyway,
I
but
don't
I was
think
just
the
talking
cameras
about
even
some
working
traffic
anymore.
stats of how people get around. So, what percentage do you reckon people drive, and this is people who work in the city, drive from this sort of distance?
So
to
we're
work?
talking about 5 kilometres.
70%.
89.
I'm going to go with 85%.
Noting that you said before that the average is 90%, wasn't it?
That's within 15K.
That's Melbourne.
So
Yeah,
we're 5Ks out. I would have thought that there'd be a higher rate of train and public transport options.
Than outer east. Yeah.
I'll go 80% drive.
Yeah, around about 83%,
There you go.
That's terrible.
which I think is a horrific stat.
Yeah.
You can walk to the city in an hour and a bit if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
From here.
I reckon all the other percentage that doesn't make up the 100 drink drivers. No, I'm serious. Like, what percentage are drink drivers? Have you got that in your stats?
I don't.
That'd be
because
really interesting to know.
But what percent of them are caught as well? Like,
Yeah.
100% of the people I'm describing.
So around about 6%.
Wouldn't it be the only statistics on record would be the ones that are caught? So it'd be just
yeah, that's what. I don't
That's
mean
so
people who
skewed.
do it without.
Well, it's funny you talk
You know.
about that as far as how many people are caught. I was looking at human trafficking as well.
I watched
Nine.
Taken this morning, and it's
yeah.
on TV. Jessamy just sent me a message. I mean,
it's on right now.
this girl I know just sent me a message saying Taken's on TV right now. How's that?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's about
It's the way
human
we roll.
trafficking. He had to pay $350,000 just to get his own daughter back.
It's true.
And I don't think
So-
he was going to fuck her.
That's true.
No.
So what happens?
No, I don't think he should.
I live in a weird bubble sometimes, and I don't really like to think about things that I don't really understand. What the fuck? What happens with like human trafficking? So people just get other people.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and
a
they-
lot of
yeah.
it's for labour. You know,
So,
I
like,
think in my head
slaves.
people talk about.
Yeah, there's.
No, it's
Australia's
true.
history has been in blackbirding, which is something that happened after the most sort of the more disgusting sort of.
Genocide.
Well, yeah, I mean, blackbirding was something that was happening about 150 years ago in Australia, where what you would do is go to like the Torres Strait Islands and say, "There's work. You can come here. We'll give you money. You can send it back to your family. Everything's going to be great." And what they end up doing is actually just taking them as slaves traditionally, like they did from the Caribbean and from Ethiopia.
Yeah, and cutting their communication off, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they got
So
away.
it actually when you it is a form of genocide in the same way that the Stolen Generation and like it's a very very deliberate way of dissolving communities and dissolving
So what's the
families and
overarching
societies.
principle? Is it to try and break down that community, or is it?
No, initially,
or is it for labour?
Blackbirding's all about labour, but the byproduct of it is that you start kind of like scattering people and societies, which makes it easier to capitalise on them. So once you do it to one generation, the second generation's much easier. You pay them less, and
Yeah.
it's a finite economy, but a lot can be done.
So-
So like it's very
Yeah.
powerful.
So in 2012, 27 million people were estimated to be trafficked.
Which is a tiny.
It's more than the.
Really.
That's more than the population of Australia.
Yeah.
We got 6.
So
6
there-
billion
and only
per
about
year.
46,000 of those were actually found and helped. That's for me. That's the real.
So where are these
scary-
people going?
Well,
Well, a lot of it's crossing borders, so a lot of like Eastern European, African nations. So because it's a similar thing that's happening with our Supreme Leader. Is it costs a lot of money to do it legally, so people do it illegally, like anything.
Right. Yeah,
There's
right.
a
But
fair
he's
bit get
also
taken
involved-
into slave labour, whether it's prostitution or drug production and
Yeah,
stuff like
that's
that.
right.
There's a lot of stuff like that that people get taken to do, and it's just
80% of them are women,
under threat of life.
50% of them are underage minors.
yeah.
Our Supreme Leader, though, is partaking in human trafficking right now. He's like taking a little bit of drink out of it and going, "Oh, there's a human trafficking ring. Let's get in on that. Let's leverage our political party. Like, it's happening. Let's be involved. Why not? And we can say we're doing the right thing the whole time, especially if you don't let any journalists in and you don't let anyone in to tell the actual story.
What's the project got to say about all this?
The project has fucking Jules Lund on
Dr.
it.
Chris, the vet.
Yeah,
he'd have
he's
a lot of,
he's a real doctor.
He's a real doctor. That we know a few of them.
Yeah, he'd be able to traffic heaps of animals and shit in for you.
Yeah, he'd be able to.
And not only that, is when he takes
all
his
sorts of
shirt off,
wildlife,
he's really
including
hot.
trees.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Well, why do you have this big problem about wildlife, trees not being wildlife?
Just because I'm a racist.
It does seem a bit weird, Stowers.
A species.
I think as humans we think that wildlife is something
That
That's
walks
not- it's an
around,
animal.
breathes, and
Life.
looks,
Yeah.
and is mammalic.
Flora,
like a
fauna.
mammal.
That's wildlife, right?
They both are. Yeah. What about fungus? Here's an interesting question. Fungus is more similar to a human being or an animal than it is to a plant.
Yeah.
I guess it's wildlife.
Well, this is the thing that Stowers and I were talking about the other night, is that what's the difference between fishing? So we've discussed earlier the ridiculous amount of money that goes into the fishing industries.
Comes from.
Just the big thing that it is, like
$100
super
billion
trawlers and nets. And one thing that always sticks in my mind, not that I can really visualize it, is that what's the strait between England and like the Atlantic there, like at the channel.
Ocean.
There's like not the channel between France, the channel on the west side of England. Anyway, whatever it is, it's apparently
It's called the English Channel, isn't it?
No,
that's the
that's
2025. That's the French channel.
Anyway, there's some tidal type situation going on there in the Atlantic, and apparently back in the day, there were so many fish there that you could just put your hand in and take fish out. There were that many, and that's not the case anymore. And I'm sure that there's circumstances of that everywhere, and that's why we have these super trawler things that come in and scoop up as much crap as they can scoop up at any one time, and yet that's okay. Or if I go down to the river and I go and get a trout out of the Goulburn River or something,
you got to put it back.
Yeah.
and I smash it over the head with a block of wood and I take it home and cook it, that on the barbecue, that is acceptable. But if I went into the forest and saw a little wallaby there and I'm like, fuck yeah, and kicked the shit out of it and chucked it in the back of my ute and cooked it up on the barbecue, that would somehow be inhumane.
Yeah, I find it funny.
Not in Tasmania.
Yeah, but I find it funny.
Fish aren't human.
Yeah, but no. But the thing is,
Wallabies are people too,
I
Stuart.
think I brought it up because, like, you see I Fish or whatever the show is, and they drag his big marlin on the board and they slit its throat and let it bleed out like gulping for air. If you did that with a fucking lamb, tried to put it on primetime TV, no dice, because fish have no feel. Oh, they got a 3-second memory. That's something that.
So how does that make it
isn't
any?
True,
how
but
is it
it's-
humane to whack a fish over the head with a block of wood? But if you did the same thing with a mammalian type thing, that's somehow different.
No, but I disagree on the fact that I think if you had a fish in your hands and you were bashing it over the head, you were planning to eat that fish.
Yeah, and I'm still planning to eat the wallaby too.
I think that if you had a wallaby in your hands and you were thinking to eat that wallaby,
Entree and main.
then if you kill it, then that's fine.
So that's my point as well, which is there was this huge thing about the dolphin killing in Japan. And so my point,
dolphins are like people, but in the sea.
So my point is that if that's what's been going on culturally, let's not forget that the traditional owners of the land that we're sitting on right now used
the Wurundjeri.
Well, they were the Wurundjeri, but they would eat whatever came their way. Stingrays. If we did have, up north, Torres Strait Islanders would eat and still do eat loggerhead turtles. what's the issue? If you're going to eat it, how's it any different? And so my theory is with all this Japanese stuff, it looks terrible because they've got these traps and the water goes red. But if they're actually, I'm not sure if they're
selling it.
No,
they are selling it. Well,
they're selling it.
They're also not eating the whole thing. I mean, if you kill a roo or you kill a wallaby, and you know what you're doing, you just take the tail. You just take the top part of the tail and you leave the rest of it because it's too much trouble. I mean, if you want to spend all your time doing it,
right?
And you throw it away and the birds are going to eat it and there's fuckloads of kangaroos. But I think the difference is in Japan is that you take your prime cuts and you leave the rest of it and there's not a lot of...
So it's killing. It's killing more for the sake of killing rather than actually.
No, it's not for the sake of killing at all. It's all about money and food.
But it's not like you're breeding these animals to be eaten. It's like, let's go and get what's out there, like in fishing and trawling. All
Do we breed kangaroos to eat at the store?
We don't need to.
No, we got them in pest numbers.
It's still illegal to eat kangaroo from Victoria.
So
they still cull them and bury them and burn them.
It's a very complex issue, Stuart.
Any kangaroo you eat is from New South Wales.
No, I'm just
many people in Victoria eat kangaroo.
No, but I mean, as far as the ones you get in the shop, it's still
they're
to
imported
trade
and
Victorian kangaroo.
So
which is bananas. They don't need
in
fucking
Victoria.
massive...
You can't get a tag to go out.
Cows are retarded in Australia. They're not meant to be here. Fuck them off.
And they fuck the soil up with their hooves.
What are?
Cows.
Oh, cows. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were saying kangaroos.
No, but kangaroos are naturally here, and we got to cull them to.
We have the largest population of wild camels on the earth in Australia.
Yeah.
There's guys who fly
can eat
around in
camel.
a chopper,
You can eat camel.
shooting them.
Yep,
It's great.
As their
Camel's
job.
awesome. I've had a camel burger.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Delicious.
Talking about turtles.
I highly recommend everybody have a camel burger.
You know how all humans stereotype. So when you said camel burger, then I'm thinking like Moroccan spices. Why has my brain gone camel Moroccan spices? Why has it
Because
done
camels and Moroccans have a lot in common.
Yeah, but also it's like movies and TV. Like you associate Arabs with camels because that's where
Does that make me
racist? But it's the racist way that the media portray everything, right?
So you're being racist, Stuart.
Well,
that? I'm always racist.
But in a good way. He's racist, but in
So I
a
was
good
reading-
way.
We're talking about turtles. 28,000 live turtles get exported through Asia every single day.
28,000.
Freshwater turtles.
For what purpose?
Food, to put in little jelly sacks to hang around your neck, whatever the fuck. Asians do whatever they fuck
the
with
little
animals, yeah?
the little things. Yeah, like Tamagotchis, but then not.
Bluefin tuna is
real.
just
They're
about finished because of sushi.
Little sack.
Sushi. Anyone here eat sushi?
Yes, I freaking love it.
You're ruining the world.
Do you know what's funny?
Sorry.
Do you know what's funny? Seeing,
sorry, world.
Oh, but you can call it California roll. It's made from hippies.
Do you know what's funny? Seeing toddlers in prams eat sushi. It's funny because it goes everywhere, but it's also funny because it's not what we had growing up. It's so different.
True. And I can't remember
Where's the
pram
fucking
traffic.
Chico roll, mate?
Pram traffic is a new phenomenon.
What?
Pram traffic.
Fucking prams.
Like you call it traffic.
Let's go to it. Let's make music.
Yeah, let's make music out of it.
Song time.
I mean, it's a whiz.
You light my fire, she said. She's way too wired, I dread. She's on her hands and knees crawling. She calls me suntans, but I ain't no kid. You say you want it, can't have it. It's near love for sale. You say you need it to feel it. It's no other way. You say you want it, can't have it. It's near love for sale. You say you need it to feel it. It's no other way unless you stand up instead. Try to be all that she said, and in the mirror realize you have the power deep inside. You say you want no other way. You say you want it, can't have it. It's never for sale. You say you need it to feel it. There's no other way. And the fire, she said. You light the fire, she said. You light the fire, she said. She said. She said. She wants soul. She wants soul. She wants soul. She wants soul. I give her 1 stroke for the money. I give her 3 strokes for the honey. I give another stroke, and now she blows. You want it, can't have it. It's never for sale. You say you need it to feel it. There's no other way. You say you want it, can't have it. It's never for sale. You say you need it to feel it. There's no other way. I say you want it, can't have it. It's never for sale. You say you need it to feel it. There's no other way. You say you want it, can't have it. It's never for sale. You say you need it to feel it. There's no other way. You light the fire, she said. She's way too wired, I dread. She's on her hands and knees crawling. She calls me sometimes, but I ain't no kid. She wants soul. I said soul. She wants soul. I said soul.
Cheer.
Maybe
Started on
I
mine.
need to go ranting about traffic this season.
Yeah, let's rant. Oh yeah, that was fresh. That was
big
I liked
fella
it.
ink.
Boom. I like.
What do you know about that, Vonn Trapp?
I saw this guy playing some tunes in like a restaurant on Cavill Ave in Surfers Paradise.
Famous Cavill Ave.
Went in and had a chat to the guy, and he was basically just like, yeah, fucking, this is what I do. He was playing tunes. It was pretty boss. So got some unruly guests coming on in.
Yeah, we just had some
Backyard.
stragglers come through the back gate.
For our live audience. But yeah, Big Fella Inc. He goes by the moniker Big Fella Inc. as a solo guy.
Large tattooed man at all?
No, he's just tall and slender.
Ink with the C.
Ink with a C, yeah. And all one word. So hashtag Big Fella Inc.
Yeah, nice.
Does he make clothes for big and tall people?
I don't think so, but I'd give that 5 jars of 4X just because he's a QLD product. And 4X isn't actually that bad. People,
It's a good drink.
I like
people give it a
4X.
bad
Yeah,
rap.
it's awesome.
So do you know some other stats? A friend of ours, the Moose Man, works in the beer industry.
Sure does.
Told us that
Alcohol.
He traffics alcohol.
his actual title, I believe, at the moment is beer strategy analyst.
Oh yeah, he's back where he belongs. He went into
Solid
wine
title.
for a little bit. Now he's back.
That's what you call your dumb shit mate who just drinks and can't get it together.
Well,
Something you come up with is like, what's your perfect job? I'm a beer strategy analyst.
Yeah, well,
It's like, no, you're
but
not.
anyway,
I am.
the stat is
Fucking idiot.
that recently, within the last year, 4X Gold has taken over VB as Australia's most sold beer.
Yep, and I believe it. It's become more and more trendy, and the addition of the word gold at the end of it,
Yeah,
and the fact that it's 3.5% too.
yeah, it's also climate, right?
Means you
And
get
you got to
smashed.
drink more of it.
Yeah, he smashed 20 of them instead
easy
of
to
12.
drink. They're easy to drink. They go down pretty well as long as they're ice cold.
They are great
And
up there.
Yeah, when you're in
Yeah, in
Queensland,
the
you
climate.
smash them. You smash them down.
Far north, when you can feel the air flowing through your cavities as you breathe in, because it's so thick with humidity. The only thing that can take away the pain is a 4X Gold.
I want to sort of head back towards traffic, and
Yes,
I want to tell you guys
traffic we all
a
know and
funny
love.
story.
Yeah.
Of myself and Michael had one time. We, as young whippersnappers, not necessarily knowing much about the world, decided to drive up to Sydney one time. And now Melburnians love to dish it out to those Sydney folk. Basically because they're not as intelligent.
They're a bunch of dickheads.
Their city's not laid out in a grid type fashion, which makes navigation quite difficult.
Idiots.
They drink beers in different sizes. The beers that they drink generally aren't as good.
They're toxic. Essentially.
Basically, there's a lot.
Twoies.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There's generally a shitload of traffic on the roads.
Shitload.
And myself being the sort of unit that I am, I don't like to go via a GPS or a map or anything like that. I just sort of was navigating by feel through the CBD of Sydney, and
it was interesting.
Happened to be a Friday night around the George Street area, which tends to have something like 50 buses on it at one particular time.
But for us at the time, being uni students or whatever, musos, every day's a Friday, so we didn't really sort of
we didn't sort of click that it was a Friday, and it just anyway. So we're in this queue of traffic, and lights go red, and we sat there, and nothing was moving for a while, and
like 3 sets of reds and greens, and we didn't go anywhere.
3 sets of reds, and we had not moved a single meter. So our reaction to that was, what can we do? And I had a strict no smoking in the car rule because it was my mum's car. So
who's your mum again?
Leonie. And basically we
shout out to Leonie.
We basically,
and Prue, for that matter,
we decided that it'd be a good idea just to get out of the car
and make a point of it.
Make a point of it. So we stood out on the road and smoked a cigarette for, I think it was 2 or 3 further sets of traffic light changes.
We knew it wasn't going to go in. We were sitting on the front bonnet. No, seriously.
No, we were sitting on the bonnet of the car in peak hour traffic, and it was actually made the whole event hilarious and fun.
Yeah. And then also, it was like Murphy's Law, because after we'd finished, got back in the car, 5 cars get through the right turning arrow.
And you know what? There's
and
people
we
listening in
Sydney
going, why is this funny? It's normal. This is normal for Sydney traffic.
It was funny because the next day we weren't in Sydney anymore. And it was just like, thank God.
So have you blokes had any funny traffic moments like that where you've actually got out of the car or you've had to do something drastic?
Yes.
I've had a really pretty much exactly the same thing, except it wasn't me. It was Hunter, and it was Easter weekend on the Calder or Hume, and Hunter's decided he's had enough, so he gets out of the car with a mixed bowl and a bong and continues to walk alongside the car as we shuffle through traffic, smoking bongs and just being a great guy.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time we were going to Zeb Fest down in Ballarat, and Stu was driving, and it was Mel, Barbaro and Ray, part of Tux, and I saw that the traffic, I was going to be able to walk down and beat the traffic, and we also need to buy beer on our trip to Ballarat. And we were coming through City Road, yes. And I walked down and went to this little Sopranos place that had a bottle shop, and I got out of the car, and the funniest thing was that Mel and Ray were both asleep. So I'd got out of the car and they were still asleep, and walked down, really casual, bought a slab of Melbourne cans. By the time I walked straight out, the Vectra was just pulling up in the traffic still. I got back in the car, slammed the door, and both the girls woke up, and they're like, oh, what's going on? I go, yeah, we're here. We're in Ballarat. Yeah, it's fine. But we got in the car, they got about 45 metres. Yeah. And I'd already been able to go to the bottle shop and get back in the car.
It really was a smooth move.
It was smooth.
I started to sort of shit myself a little bit because I was like, well, what if this does pick up? But worked out fine.
Yeah, he's got to make it happen.
I heard a story of that the other day. A mate from down the cricket club, Jesse McLaren, did a very similar thing the other day on the way to a pool competition. They were heading out to...
As you do?
Yeah. Jesse played with the Woodies a few times.
Yeah, he has. They were on their... I heard that they were on their way out to Fitzroy to play some pool, and a very similar thing, just jumped straight out of the car, smoke, got the smoke ready, went in two cans of VB, couple of puffs on the smoke, casually, puts it out and just gets straight back in the car, seamless. That sort of stuff that you can do when the traffic's, you can just predict that you can do it. How about you, Vonn Trapp? Have you done anything silly in a heavy traffic situation?
Not really. When I'm driving, I like to plan for the unexpected. So when shit like that goes down, I like to position myself in such a way that I can avoid the traffic. And I'd rather drive through back streets for half an hour than sit in traffic for 20 minutes.
I agree.
You like to be on the move.
I like to be on the move. And,
Victoria is on the move.
Exactly.
You're the sort of guy who's going to take 5 left turns to avoid a right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because fucking right turns are for losers.
I got one for you though. Have you ever been like on the freeway or wherever it is, and you've realised, shit, I need to get something out of my boot, and you're the only person driving your car. There's no one else in the car.
Yeah.
And you've had to get out and go and grab something out of the boot. Have you ever done that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm happy to do that at the lights. No worries about that. And depending on how the traffic is, I can sort of time that reasonably well.
I was on a Bucks weekend last weekend, and we mentioned, I mentioned this on the episode, but I was picking up a friend's car with him and his mum, the big Suv dish from the Furrows, and his mum was a bit unsure about directions on how to get home. So we said, look, we'll lead you out. And we got to the point where we were going to go one way, she was going to go the other. And he wasn't sure whether she understood. So just in the middle of traffic with the green light, he's just put the handbrake on, got out of his car and gone, yeah, you need to turn right at the next intersection. I was like, that's arrogant. Like that's holding up traffic. But the great thing is that both cars got through on the green, so it didn't make any difference.
There's a very slim line between audacity and tenacity.
Ooh.
And I think that move was tenacious.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I quite regularly get caught up in traffic. Myself and one Sam Loy from the Contortionist Handbook, which is a great band.
He just turns left.
We often go to Meredith Music Festival and we get there
We're
an
in
hour and a
Meredith
half
cap
before the
tonight,
gates.
actually.
I've got a Meredith Music Festival cap on.
Golden Plains.
They're there at the moment.
Are they?
And we get there early and we end up in a big old traffic jam waiting to get in. And that's when traffic jams are good because we all get out and at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's time for a beer. So we crack the cans.
Yeah, it's all relative, right? Like traffic is
absolutely
relative. Like,
well, I remember
depends
a time
where you're going and if you need to get to a meeting and you've left yourself less time than you normally would, and you're struggling to get there, and then traffic is a bitch. But if you don't want to go to work, then traffic's mint.
So I remember a classic time when
Can't do anything about it, apparently.
we were driving out to a Rod Stewart concert at Hanging Rock, and the freeway, there was like roadworks on every single section of the freeway. So it was just bumper to bumper, and it could have gone two ways. You get stressed and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if we're going to make it on time. The day's been ruined.
Or you just relax and don't
You just
care.
relax, and we had the windows down. It was a cracking afternoon, and just got
you're in comfy chairs.
yeah, and we had drinks as well.
Chairs are comfy.
Yeah.
We had drinks as well. Leone was driving, and
Boom. Driver.
basically we just
Who was that?
Leone was driving, and basically we were just
Who's that again?
we were just like, well, let's enjoy this. Let's play the guitar and sing songs, and all the other people banked up in traffic. Probably, quite a number of the cars had their windows down as well because it was hot. And a few people heard us playing songs, and they're uplifting the spirits of people on the
There was a
freeway.
few people who was,
Everybody hurts.
there were a few people. Yeah, that's right. That's a traffic song. That film clip.
Have
But
you ever
people were
been?
slowing down to keep up with us to listen because they were like, "Oh,
Is that
it's
why the
Saturday."
traffic jam existed?
No. Here's one for you guys. Have you ever been caught air drumming or air guitaring or singing violently along to a song in traffic and looked around and seen someone
All
and
the
no,
time.
yeah,
I'm like, I replay, because I do impro, I replay scenes that I've
Yeah,
done
of
that
course,
night on the
of
way
course.
home, and I'm constantly like going, and I look to the person next to me and they're like, looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? And I'm like, yeah. And then it stops as soon as he says someone's looking.
You just hold up your
I wasn't doing
iPhone
it.
5 and just go, speakerphone, motherfucker.
Then take a bite out of it.
Yeah.
I remember. I'll always.
Cookies.
I will always remember sitting in traffic along Flinders Street, right near Flinders Street Station, and listening to Tool's 46 and 2, which has an epic drum solo in it, in the middle of it, and air drumming along to it like crazy, and like all the way through to the end of it. And at the point of the end, you get that sense when someone might be looking at you.
Yes.
And I had that sense, and I looked over to my right to the next lane, and there was a bloke mocking me in the passenger seat, air drumming at me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you don't know whether you want to get out and punch the guy in the face or
you're
just
like,
laugh.
that's funny because he would have been normally on his iPhone.
Yeah, exactly right.
No, this was pre-iPhones. This was a
What
long
better
time
world.
ago. But,
Pre-iPhone. People used to come and knock on your door.
Made sure the moment got seized, made up my mind. I threw a napkin over my sleeve, straightened my tie. Mind if I behold you through the fold in your menu? Couture, all up against you. Oh Lord, how can I convince you? I just met you and I'm instantly listening to your instrumental. Pour me, I pour water inside your glass. For a brief moment, our eyes had kinda met. I confess, I felt that inside my chest. Almost made quite a mess, yet I digress. I would guess you're meeting a date here. I offer, she order hors d'oeuvres while she wait here. She brushed her bangs to clear off her face, yeah. Parted her lips and turned crab cakes to Shakespeare. I'm afraid to ask. My imagination act, I run away with that. Run away with me, I swear I'm not a maniac. I give you that pretty diamond ring and last name to match. I ain't saying that, I practice waiting in the back. I know I better make it fast for her day get back. Yeah, I place her order, grab the plate, relax. Here, let me fix my face and get my game intact. Fear, I chase the clock cause I can't make it stop. I played away the job, laid it on the tabletop. Time to play your cards, ace, gotta take a shot. Before I could speak, he showed up to devastate the plot. A real server showed up, my plan fell through. Sir, are y'all together? Ma'am, can I help you? She looking puzzled, I stand without words. I'm sorry, I don't really work here. Awkward. Let me explain, you see, I ain't much for wait and see. So when I sing, you take a seat, I played maitre d'. She replied angrily, Mister, I can't believe you stand your grown ass in this place and play games with me. Crazy freak, wait, how did you get all that food? I ordered from the table round the corner and brought it to you. Can't say I thought it through, man, this all sorta new. But when I saw you, I sorta knew I had to talk to you. And nothing in my arsenal seemed possible, so I called an audible. Serve you, I'm honored to, I ain't mean to bother you. I just wanna watch a few moments of your life, much like a flag on the wall would do. Never mind me, the light from your unusually bright shine blinded me, till that was all I could see. Understand if you don't wanna talk to me, I just leave. Pardon me, let me take this little broken heart and leave. Wait, that was a stupid thing to do, but my date didn't show up and my table set for two. I pulled on my coat like, oh, look at you. That's all I really wanted, ma'am. Enjoy your afternoon. I'm through.
And we're back. That was Brother Ali from his free album, The Bite-Shaped... Oh, fuck, I fucked this up. The Heart-Shaped Mark, The Bite-Shaped Heart,
Sounds
The
like Harry
Heart-Shaped
Potter.
Bite. The Heart-Shaped Bite is what it's called.
The heart-shaped butt heart.
He's a rapper from Minnesota. a beautiful, beautiful man. I've had the opportunity to meet him on a number of occasions, and I cried like a bitch. Off we go.
Okay.
Is anyone going to give it a jar rating? I've done mine.
I can't.
I was actually setting up a lot of the stuff in that little break with Trevi Q, who's going to play.
It was pretty smooth, man. I listen to a lot of like rap and R&B and stuff from like late 90s, early 2000s when
2001, Dre.
Yeah, Dre. When DMX was fiddling around with the whole acting thing.
Yeah,
he was
when
acting.
Ja Rule was getting in the closet and finding his way out.
Yeah, yeah. And DMX and Ja Rule were acting with Steven Seagal.
Who did Hits from the Bong?
Cypress
Hill,
Cypress Hill,
yeah, of course.
So I thought that was pretty good. That sort of took me back to
did a bit
back in that kind of day.
Yeah,
a little bit.
about it.
It had a little bit of Romeo Must Die about it.
So how many jars of Cristal will you give it?
Cristal.
Well, he's actually Muslim. He doesn't drink. Brother Ali is a very devout Muslim.
Well, too bad because he's going to be drinking 4.5 jars of Cristal. So yeah, tough shit for him. Pretty much.
It.
And if he doesn't want to come on JARfm and do it, well, I'll happily drink those 4.5 jars for him.
He'll come on, I'm sure. We'll wait till he comes back. He's a lovely guy.
I like it.
Taking it back
But
just
he can
a
have-
little
he can have
step.
shit.
Yeah, we're talking just before
we're
the
talking
break.
about
Yeah.
things that you that happen in traffic when traffic stops. Mine's a little bit left of centre. It's not one of the ones where you get out and you rummage through your trunk and find a rubber chicken and hold it up to the crowd and they all go crazy and you get back in your car. It's nothing like that. I was
Carrot Top.
Mine was a real chicken, but yeah.
I was involved in a slight road rage incident.
Yep.
And
A slight.
at the
road
time,
rage incident.
This is coming from the guy before that said that I never get flustered while driving.
Yeah, that's right.
This is it. It'll make sense with what you just said when I tell this story.
Yep.
And at the time, I didn't deal with that road rage incident as I felt like I should have. I kind of sort of smiled it off, and I don't remember exactly what happened at all. But later on, I was thinking about things that I could have done to deal with that road rage incident. And one of the things that came to mind just in a moment of thought was a simple stare at them and give them the finger. And as I was thinking it,
This
I
is your
stared.
logical answer. The
I
one
stared.
that you thought about.
No, this is just one of the many things.
Okay.
I stared out the window, but I wasn't looking where I was staring, and I just fucking popped up the finger in this really aggressive way, and then I noticed where I was looking. And it was like at an old lady and her husband crossing the lights, and I was just staring at them, like
you,
giving
old
them this
people.
fucking finger with this
hate
death
you, I
look
hope
in
it
my
does.
eyes, like "fuck you, man!" And they looked at me, and I was just like,
How can you,
"Bang!"
Yeah, you can't do anything in that split second to
Mate.
make them think. Oh no, that wasn't you.
Can I offer an all?
You going?
Can I offer an alternative to sticking a finger up at someone?
Fork.
And this is
Give them the fucking fork.
no, not even
It's like
that.
calling someone a dog.
If you rather than like make an aggressive gesture, if you just go like this
So
and
Disang's
keep doing that drive with one hand, don't change gears, keep
So
it first, make it loud.
2.0 is making the upside down, thumbs down type of maneuver here.
Well, when
This
I-
advice I took from Ari Shafir, residing in New York. So it's not my idea, but I think it's
The other one,
you should do
the
it.
other one that you can do, and I think Stoles is about to say
Yeah,
the same thing. I'm not even making eye contact with him, but it's the finger waggle.
the waggle.
Oh, yeah, I like the waggle.
This is what I. Yeah, but but it's all about the face. It's
Oh.
like you're disappointed.
You got to shake the head as well.
It's like a dad's.
Stoles has just closed
like
his eyes and made his eyebrows
foolish
even cooler than they
You
were
see someone
before.
do that, and if
You
you know
know.
you've done the bad thing,
You know.
you're just like, yeah, I fucked up there. And you can just employ that by just going.
See, I've changed. I've changed a little bit. Like again, not super aggressive. I don't use the horn all that much. I'm more than happy to get a little bit verbal. More than happy to use hand or finger gestures. But I picked
Still
up.
talking about traffic, right?
Yes. Dr. Fingerbang might be here next episode. But
He's a real doctor.
He's a real doctor. But I've actually just recently purchased a hatchet. a little axe.
What?
I've got one of them.
I picked up one of those from
Just to
Bunnings
deal
the
with
other day.
minor
Is this the
road
thing that
rages.
was getting around last night at the Dukes?
Looking at you
No.
That was a prop.
That
That was
was
a prop.
raised. But I picked up.
Well, you did move to Newport, I guess.
Yeah, I moved to Newport, and I'll tell you what, they're stupidly polite over there in terms of traffic and drivers and stuff. They
That's
are
good.
ridiculous.
And you're going to have to take on this challenge during the week and make sure that you're
with your
polite.
hatchet.
Oh, don't worry about that. Well, no, see, the hatchet only really gets a bit of play in really aggressive traffic, and I just keep it down to the right side of my.
It gets play.
Oh, it gets a little bit of play, not
Go
often.
on.
And it just sits down to the right. Of,
Tell me how many
no, down to my
Are you
right hand.
serious?
Yeah,
Left.
And I just whip the hatchet out, and the guy might be looking at me in the rear view or whatever, and I just pull it out and I just hold it up near the window and I just start looking at it.
For those who don't know, this is also this Vonn Trapp unit. His ridiculous long hair, huge beard. He's a reasonably sized man in a
drives
tiny
a
little black
mainly Viking
Mercedes with no top.
With a hatchet.
flinging a hatchet around and like just humping country music.
Yes,
Like, I mean, this is someone that you don't
And I
probably
just-
pull up
you don't
next to
mess
and have
with
a
that.
go
Yeah.
with because he's cut in front of you.
and if they want to, well, that's fair enough. And I won't be the first one to get out of my car. Let's put it that way.
Von Trapp,
rather
I'm
drive off
going to
with a
ask you a
fast car.
question here, mate.
Yeah.
Would you ever bury that hatchet?
I would, yeah, in the right circumstances.
Right.
Like some cunt's back.
Yeah, definitely.
Or
I
head.
definitely would do it, but never in the back. I put it in the middle of their scone, but only if they threw the first punch. And this is how I live my life. My old man basically taught me never throw the first punch, but if someone throws the first punch, you always throw the last one. And this metaphor, obviously, the last one's going to be a hatchet in the face.
You use the back of it, yeah.
Wow,
that actually
back,
does more
front,
damage.
don't care.
No, because the front
Well,
sound
do you get
point's
this-
too small. I don't know if you ever tried it.
Oh, well, I haven't needed to try it,
It
but
just bends
I'm
in
willing
hand
to.
if you're not holding it tight enough.
I'll
That's
be
why you
holding
go
it.
for the back.
I'll be
That's where
holding
the weight
it
is.
tight like a drum, my friend.
So, do you actually get that frustrated that, like, would you ever want to use the hatchet, or is it's just a sign that it's just like,
Oh,
look
no.
at me, I've got a hatchet.
I basically, as soon as I get in the car,
It's like someone who owns a pet snake and
Nah,
walks
as,
around
Walks around with it on the
yeah.
head. Or a rat.
as soon as I get in the car,
I've got a rat.
I'm ready to use it. I am.
Yeah,
ready.
that's right. You know what you need to do, Von Trapp? You need to ride a bike.
No. But see, I'd want to whack people. Where am I going to hold my hatchet?
In the drinks holder.
drink
Have
holder?
it, have it
you can
under
get-
the little
for sure.
crossbar.
In the
And
drink
you know
holder.
what's really good? You go past in traffic.
Take people's mirrors off.
No, just the tyres. Just the tyres, because you're fucked if you don't have a tyre.
Oh well, that's true. Yeah, but
You know what I
See,
could...
see
I'd be
you in
more
15
interested in
minutes
taking
when you're
mirrors
at
off.
work.
You know what you should do?
Yeah.
Is get yourself a big 12-inch black
Dildo.
dong. Yeah. And just do this.
Stop at the lights and get out. With a big
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
dildo.
just sit there
Just
and
do that and just
point at him.
wag
Sit
that
there and
thing
just
out.
Hold it
shake
and point at him.
Do that waggle.
And mouth
and then-
tonight.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I find that the hatchet's reasonably effective. People tend to move out of my way, or
Yeah, it's like having
You
like
could
a
meet
big-
halfway and get the hatchet and a jar of Vaseline
yeah,
and start
I can
greasing
be
up
like,
the...
yeah, just grease that shit up. But
And a hatchet. Just hatchet with a dildo hand.
S to S.
a hatchet.
Oh boy.
But,
Yeah, I think we need to go to a song.
yeah, we should cut
Well,
to
we've
our.
got a
Well,
live
we've got a
guest.
live
We've got
musician
a live
right here.
guest, Travis Hughes.
my road rage is building. So
Yeah, I know.
so
But I
can
mean,
can T
He's got
Poon,
the hatchet out.
as he's known, soothe us with something?
yeah, look, I mean, he's been very kind to play music on JARfm, and he's informed me that he hasn't played at JARfm before.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't played a JARfm before,
I know.
but there's always a time for a first.
Anyway,
and here it
so
is.
just an original composition from Travis Q. When you're ready.
What up, listeners? This is Stu's Balls talking. So, producer Rubble 2.0 done fucked up. The guitar lead was plugged into the PA system, but somehow the signal never made it into the recording program. Please pretend that you just heard a glorious and perfectly performed piece of guitar magic. Forward your complaints to www.facebook.com/JARfm. And remember, don't worry, that audio gets better. It was dark, and I was drunk.
I'm concerned about you, Vonn Trapp.
Why?
I'm just concerned that you're driving around with a hatchet.
Well, see, no, I was... Well...
In DVT's defence, I had a friend who used to drive around with one of those super... pardon?
Like a Safeway trolley bar? The handle of a trolley? No?
Yeah, that was pretty
That was pretty 90s. That was standard.
He had like a sort of 60 centimetre, 40 mil shifter.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of those, that size and that length, which is used to, unlock some of the nuts in the motor, which you used to do.
Don't worry, that audio gets better. It was dark, and I was drunk.
So some people do carry around stuff in their
car.
car. I reckon it's weird.
For me, that's a sign that there's not heaps about just being able to drive. That means that you should be able to drive. If someone's getting that worried and they're going to fucking clock someone over the head because of someone cutting in on them in traffic, that probably costs you about 8 seconds, and that's a bad thing. People should be walking. People should be...
Dude, I do not believe that people should get angry in traffic. I think it is ridiculous if you do, because basically it's not important. Like, straight up and down, it's one of the least important things in your life.
But it's such a human way to... It's me and everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, you're part of the traffic. You're driving.
Can I let you guys...
You're part of the problem.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You got to deal with it. You got to bear some of
fucking
the
traffic,
responsibility.
Just suck it up and just be in traffic.
Yeah, that's
Can I let you guys in on a little...
And if someone needs to fucking merge, who gives a fuck? Just let them in.
No.
They can merge right in
Who
behind.
cares?
No.
Do you know what? They're driving in that lane, and that lane's fucking empty.
No, Roland,
Fuck
no.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Roland,
disagree.
Bang, let him in. Why not?
Roland, thing is here...
What happens when you're driving down that lane? You're like, fuck, I'm in this lane. Oh, should I cut in at the back?
Jam it. Roland, jam it. Jam it. Now, Roland,
no, you shouldn't.
there is a thing that is called the natural order. There is a thing that is called the natural order. The natural order is the natural order of cars that are driving on the road. Now, basically, when there's poor road management, such as 2 lanes become one and then one...
With little to no signage.
Correct. There is a natural order, and there are people that go out of their way to break the natural order.
Fuck yeah, they do.
They will go as fast as they can up in the left lane and try and merge back in at a point...
The left lane's fucking open. It should be driven until it is no longer open.
It's a common courtesy thing.
Look, if you're talking about driving in the fucking emergency lane or like cutting from a non-turning lane into a turning lane,
I have a principle.
That's fine. But if a lane's open, it should be driven in, and it doesn't fucking matter who's driving in it. But if it's open, it's for driving. And if people aren't driving, they're idiots. Why the hell wouldn't you drive in a lane that's open? You're just a dickhead who's not doing it.
Every time I drive, and
it's an open lane. In you go. Bang.
The principle that I use every time I drive is if someone deliberately breaks the natural order, I will not let them in.
It's true.
There is no way
down with that
I'm going to let someone slam up the side of me over the speed limit and then try and merge in front of me.
But what traffic is there where you'd be driving over the speed limit, stuck in traffic, where there's lanes
more
merging?
About when everyone's clogged up, people sort of shuffle around.
All right, so
that's
fine.
How traffic should go.
So tell me this: we're sitting in traffic, and there's 2 lanes. You got your left lane, your right lane. Everybody knows there's parked cars in the left lane on 90% of roads.
I don't think everyone does know that.
People jump in the left-hand lane. Well, it's fucking common sense because everybody parks on the left.
Have you ever tried to walk down the left on a pavement?
Yeah, and these faggoty cyclists fucking get in my way, and I can't be dealing with that shit. But on the road specifically, if it's a left-hand lane and it's not clearway times, and everyone who drives to work every day knows what the clearway times are. It's fucking 7:30 to 9:30, and then it's 4:30 to 6:30.
For me,
it used to be 7 o'clock until the Ted Baillieu government got in and reversed that back to 6:30.
I reckon if you're driving in traffic that has a clearway in it, that for me tells me that you're close to town and you should be getting other ways to work than driving. Don't clog it up.
I agree.
You've got to drive from Bayswater, where you used to live.
If there are cars parked
you got to
all the
drive
way,
to
you
work
can't
in the
drive in
city.
it. If they're fucking not parked, What's the point of using one lane of 2 lanes and making everyone fucking sit around and wait?
Okay,
like
so
dipshits
tunnels.
when you
We
can
need
use
tunnels.
2 fucking
Fuck
lanes.
yeah, more tunnels.
Tunnels
But
should be everywhere.
if you got to drive into work
So
from
the answer-
we
Bayswater,
should
where
be
you used to
Molish.
live, you used to live in Bayswater.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you had to drive
I
to the
never lived
city,
in Bayswater.
Bayswater.
wherever,
Lived in Bayswater.
Bosnia, I don't give a fuck where you lived. Either way, it's not important. If you live out in the sticks and
Yeah.
you got to drive to work,
Do you know where I worked when I was out in the sticks?
Yeah, yeah,
Around that area.
yeah, but
because
you-
that makes sense.
yeah, exactly. But there's people who live out in the sticks because they're poor as fuck and they have to drive. They have to commute to the city every day, and they get
Some of the
within
biggest
5
properties
k's.
in Victoria are all out.
But mate, they get to within 5 k's of the city, and then they go, you know what? I'm going to just sneak up the left hand lane here, knowing there's parked cars. There's a big fucking line in the fucking right hand lane, but fuck that. I'm better than that. I'm better than having to
That's the
line up.
exact issue that I was talking about, Vonn
It's the
Trapp.
same with
And
it's
the-
the
I
same
don't
with
think
the line.
anyone living in the sticks drives like that. It's people
Oh
in town.
bullshit! Nah.
People like you drive
Everyone.
15 minutes to work.
The issue
And I
is-
never
Train.
cut people off. I fucking get in the right lane and I'll just sit there and I'll wait my fucking turn. If someone wants to cut me off,
And-
they can deal with me and my hatchet.
Anyway, thanks, Trav, for that wonderful song that you played for us earlier.
I mean, is it a jar rating?
It's a real ripper. We'll have to give it a jar rating. Have we given it a jar rating yet? I'll give it a 4 out of 7.
Do it, and then I want to hear
Jar's a
from the
goon
memoir.
because that's what he's actually sucking down.
Okay, jar rate it. Who's jar rating it? Are you jar
I
rating?
just gave it 4 jars of goon.
Oh, 4 jars of
that he's actually drinking right now.
out of a Vegemite jar.
Out of a Vegemite
I'm
jar.
happy with that. Now I want to hear from Memoir. I want to hear what he has to say.
Mike's
He's
down.
put the mic down, but I want to hear it because you're
Yeah, I
you're
can't
backing up
believe
my
this.
theory, and I need to hear this because I'm being ganged up on.
Fucking livid about this shit.
Yeah, I know, and this is what I
Now-
feel in traffic.
Now, the thing is that there's a natural order. And
Kill that song. Kill that song.
if
Zach.
someone breaks
Kill
that, if someone breaks that natural order, then they should not be entitled to be leading. Everyone knows that this
Natural
person.
order in traffic. What are you talking about?
There's a natural order.
This
You
is
either line up
exactly.
or you don't.
It's exactly what Vonn Trapp is talking about. It's when there's an opportunistic gap of like 50 meters,
Jerk gap.
maybe 100 meters, where a car will drag in on the left hand side, knowing that the queue is going to be broken further up the chain.
Yeah, but it's such a small thing to be worried about. Do you know what's really good? When you're on a bike and you just go past all the traffic. That's the natural order. That's
No,
how you
but
get
what
fa-
what he's
faster
saying
somewhere.
is, if you're in the line at fucking Safeway and there's 10 cunts in Safeway fucking waiting to get served, and you just go, you know what? I don't want to line up at the back there. I want to come in from the side here. I just want to get out of here as quickly as I can. Would you be dealing with that? in
If
Safeway?
those 10 cunts are lining up at a fucking one bloody checkout when there's another one empty over there, those 10 fucking cunts are 10 fucking cunts. And they can go and get fucked.
So this is the reason why road rage occurs, Roland, because your mentality is so poor. It's actually offending me right now, like where I actually want to get up and push the table over.
Road rage or
that?
It's like JARfm rage that's happening right now.
Jar rage.
See, I think that then that's the bad thing about driving makes you so angry about that.
No,
But
because
cyclists get it.
do you guys
Yeah,
not
but
understand
it's
the fact that when someone goes out of their way to push in front of someone, that's rude?
Yeah, of course it is.
And I
So,
guess-
so how can you accept that? If you're on the road and you can change that by not letting them in, that's
Yeah.
my principle. Is that
Hang
I
on,
won't.
Yeah,
can we
you-
make a little bit of a summary because I haven't been listening that much. So,
Yeah.
someone's saying that it's okay to cut queues.
Basically, that's what
Who's saying
traffic
that?
is.
No one's
these
saying that.
these two are
No one's saying that.
Stowman
saying-
and Roland Reports are basically saying it's fine to cut queues in any sense, especially traffic. And the Memoir and myself are basically saying
I
no.
didn't say that.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you are.
You're
So
insinuating
you don't
that
say
by the
that
way
at
that
all.
you're talking.
You are saying that
I
if
said
there's
if you are dumb
I'm in
enough to
disagreement
queue up
with you
where
guys,
there's
but-
fucking 2 queues, then you deserve to be dumb.
But if you're okay, let's say there's 2
He's being
queues.
inflammatory.
Let's
I
say there's
reckon.
2 queues at Safeway lined up, right? 2 queues at Safeway because this is the easiest one to understand. You're lined up at the teller,
No, it's not, because I always go through
and there's
it.
a straight line right behind the teller, and then someone else just decides I'm gonna form my own queue on a 45-degree angle coming at the teller,
Yeah.
and I've just decided that this is gonna
and
happen.
They're
It's the new
usually
path.
South Africans or something like that.
Well-
but like I will never ever go to a Safeway unless there's auto checkout because or else I can't steal shit.
Exactly right.
I would never be dumb enough to go to a Safeway where I have to line
not
up anymore.
Not steal. You're being paid for your service
Well,
of
the
a
thing
check
is- the
of a
The thing is,
checkout.
Vonn Trapp,
Check.
I'm not trained in the art of checkout.
Yeah.
I went through one at the queue that I had
Exactly.
to line up for, and she was so good. She scanned everything for exactly what it was meant to be.
Oh,
And I was like,
that's pretty good.
wow, there's something I can look up
That's
to when
impressive.
I'm really good at it. But unfortunately, at the moment, sometimes I put cheese through and it doesn't scan, and then it
Goes through as potatoes. Fuck, unbrushed.
I don't know what to do about that.
$1.20.
I can't think backwards.
But
I'm not as smart as her.
But with the memoir, I mean, he knows what I'm talking about.
We're on the same page, and you guys are on a different page.
It's
and I think,
line cutters.
I think that's what happens is there's different mentalities, and the mentality that I like to use is the one that I like to use, and you guys have a different mentality, and I'll get upset by your mentality, and that's how road rage starts.
I'm happy to line up for things. I'm not happy when someone wants to cut in and,
Exactly.
and get their
Do you know
things
what?
before
Speaking
I
of ATMs and checkouts and stuff like that, what's great to have is a single queue. If you have the single queue, and then you divert at the top of the queue to the next available, that's logical.
Yep.
It's as we're saying, when someone forms two queues, one queue starts moving quicker than the other queue, and then people in the queue that's moving slower get pissed off because
change
they're
every lane in Melbourne to one queue.
Just
I'd be perfectly happy with that because I would because you pick your queue.
He'd be swinging the hatchet. Just swinging it, just like
you pick your queue, and look, if it's slow, tough
Okay,
shit,
so
you're
every day in the
fucked.
Herald Sun, they have averages of which lane's the best, and once you pick it, you're in that lane.
Yeah.
And then people, it's like a test.
My biggest issue is I've got a left-hand queue that's a no-toll road, and I've got a right-hand queue that's a toll road. I sit in the left-hand queue because I don't want to pay tolls.
yeah, but
And
people
that
go up
queue's
the
massive.
people go up the toll and then they cut back into the
people go, you know what? There's no one in this toll lane. I'm going to fucking hoon up this toll lane.
turning left to go across the Yarra just
Yes.
before Rod Laver
Yeah,
Arena,
turning right specifically. But
I
yeah,
used to love forcing. I would sit there and hold up traffic.
Oh, yeah.
to make that person.
and that's
go
exactly
right.
what we're saying. We're saying
so you guys are
fuck
now
you.
agreeing with us.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's different. That's
No,
It's not different.
No, it's not.
That's not an open lane.
It's a
It's a
very
closed
open lane.
No, it's a
Talking about
closed
where
lane.
There's no
lane.
traffic in it. It
You're
just
getting
turns
into
right at the end.
semantics because it's the only way you can.
You
win your
guys
argument.
started the semantics,
It's a
and
clear loss of
You
argument
turn
when
right
one
at the
goes
end of the
into
toll
semantics
road.
like this.
At the end of the toll lane, you turn right. Or if you wanted to go,
Gentlemen, I think what's happened is that people have made their own decision,
that's right.
and
And the people who choose to take toll lanes just to cut into the people who don't want to pay tolls.
I
It's
didn't
obvious.
realise
Go
that's
get
what we were
fucked.
talking about.
it's
All
obvious.
this time, I thought we were talking about lanes we don't pay for.
Park cars in the left-hand lane. It's a real thing. And if you want to use a left-hand
Is that
lane,
a toll lane?
be
Fuck. How
That's
dumb
nothing
of
I
me.
care about much.
be prepared. Be prepared to be cut off and hatcheted by Vonn Trapp.
Can we also get a photo of you with your hatchet to upload to the JARfm
Fuck yeah. I'll be
page
using
during the week as well,
I'll
please?
be using it. Don't worry. That'll be part of my finger waggling. Don't worry about it.
The park car behind it.
What a